turn this down.
Is the stream up?
Um, I'm not sure. I'm on your Twitch, but I don't see anything. Oh, it says you're online. Here we go. So how do I? Oh, there we go. All right, all right.
Off on that.
Professional.
Oh,
All
I got
right.
it. You're live streaming.
Yeah. Give us a check, everyone, real quick.
Check,
Checkity
I
check
think we're
check.
good, right?
check,
Let's see if we can get an echo here. Do it again. Check, check, check.
check, 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 check.
Checking the mic. Checking the mic.
Fan is off. Check.
All right. All right. Turn that down.
Now what, oh fearless leader?
All right. So thanks for joining us. If you're joining us, I'm Hector Santana. Uh, Below me there is Luke and Yuli, in that order. Today we're just going to be kicking back, making some characters for our upcoming campaign. It's going to be real casual. Yep, total chilling. We got on screen here the character sheet that Luke there made, who he's poured in tons of love and labor into to make my extremely nerdy math heavy game much easier to get into. Um, Pretty much the sheet does everything for you, uh, and it's kind of amazing. We don't have our logo up yet because we don't want anybody looking at how amazing that is and deciding that they want it for themselves. Um, so we're going to go ahead and make some characters here. We are playing in the future a Preternatural campaign, which is not a fanfic of Supernatural, not a ripoff.
No affiliation. All characters and likenesses are purely coincidental.
Even when the names from the show are used. And
Purely coincidental.
and we by no coincidence, the guys that we're going to be playing today are both Sean and Dan Remington.
That's purely coincidental.
Nothing to do with the original characters. So, guys, why don't we go ahead and get started here? If you can remind me which one of you is playing Sean,
That would be me.
and your character sheet is over here on the left, I believe, right?
You'll see after I enter.
All right. And helicopter, that means you are left with Dan. Tell me, helicopter, are you Danny, or Dan Remington?
Dan, but sometimes my loved ones call me Danny.
All right.
Always get punched.
All right. All right.
How is it that you spell Remington?
I already put it in for you, and I renamed the sheet for you.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just doing that.
Oh yeah, but you can put it in your character name. I haven't touched that. I just renamed the sheet.
That's what I was just doing.
hmm So you guys go ahead and so the system that I made, been working on it for 20 years here. It is supposed to really flesh out your character, so there are a lot more statistics and a lot more skills than in other games. And the idea is that you shouldn't have any questions about what to do. You should always be made available an opinion about how to properly run your game, or confidently run your game. Of course, as a role-playing game, you're free to change whatever you like. It's your kind of deal. But the mindset behind it is that you should have those things written out for you if you want to use them, as opposed to a game that tells you, "Oh, look, we're so cool and quirky." You just go ahead and make out up and we don't actually have to do that work. So we don't that wasn't the mindset going in when we made this. Um,
Essentially,
so the
essentially,
first
essentially, it's very campaign agnostic. It's set to where you can do anything you want using the rule system. It's just a mathematical base for a reality, kind of like the Unreal Engine.
right, exactly. So it is human centric. So uh, although it can do a lot more than that, uh, it lets you flesh out a character through and through, so that you really have an idea of what you're playing. So with that said, guys, why don't you tell me the first thing that you want to do on your character sheets?
Yuli?
Well, I say we should fill out our talents so that way the sheet can remind us of what prerequisites we need to take to use that skill, and then it'll be easier to flesh out our characters that way.
Sounds good.
All right, we're gonna go over here to the talent sections on both these sheets. Talents are like feats in other games or special abilities. Um, they are a one-time cost, and you can do them when that situation comes up. So the guys are going to go ahead and choose some talents for us.
How many points are we getting on these characters?
240. Sorry about that.
Go ahead
So
and write
there's
that
a
one in.
it is
That's your box.
yeah.
That's your domain, GM.
Sorry, you are correct.
Oh, also, how old are our characters?
Um, you should start off somewhere in your 20s.
I'll be 29.
And I'll be 27.
Okay.
Yay! I get some extra points. Oh no! What? Something's wrong.
What happened?
Character sheet. The attractiveness reference has disappeared.
Oh, has it?
Oh,
Or we're gonna have to figure that out later.
yeah, it's not that important. That was just so that it's right there to be seen right away.
So, guys, if you can, send your love and send your support, because Luke's put in, I don't know, tens, if not hundreds of hours into this character sheet. Um, and we want to be able to make an app version of it, a more friendly user version. And he deserves to get paid for that.
Well, that would be nice, but see, my age points pop up. Yes. Okay. Sweet.
And the more support we get, the cheaper everything is. Hmm? Hmm? Hmm?
Well,
The more, yeah.
I have been looking into some,
By the way, we don't have anything set up for that yet, anyway. But think about us in
yeah,
the future.
and I have been working on looking for a specific program to be able to turn the spreadsheet directly into an app because I don't want to have to code everything individually using Java to get it to work for
Yeah,
Android.
you guys can definitely start, if any are out there, giving us a follow and checking out what we're going to be doing in the future. Some good stuff.
All right, but now that I have points,
You have points. You're going to go back to talents.
I'm going to start throwing in talents. Hmm. Every time
So,
I first thing I see is bareback, and I'm like,
Helicopter, let's start with you. What kind of character are you imagining? What do you?
I'm gonna be like the, oh no, I'm just some innocent guy. Bam! You're dead. I'm be one of those guys.
So you're going to be like a sneaky, roguish type character.
Yes, with a heart of gold.
Okay. Rogue with a heart of gold. That's interesting.
heart of
Luke, what were you thinking
heart
of?
of, heart of insanity is more like it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking play a jerk this time. I mean,
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I think
usually I
you're reaching
play
a little
very
far this time there.
usually I play sure. My characters are usually a smart ass. but they're very nice smart asses. They're usually very amiable. This time I'm not going to take the quality amiable. I'm going to be an abrasive person. I can already hear that Hector doesn't like that.
I it doesn't matter. So one of the reasons that we make character sheets together with your GM is that one, your GM should be able to answer most of your questions right off the bat, and two, you want to be able to make characters that work well together. Um, the idea
Also,
is to make characters that are greater than the sum of their parts, right? And work well
indeed,
together, want to stay together, and uh, so you want to avoid the trope of the angry lone wolf who gets everything done with themselves. It as cool as that is, as edge lord awesome as that is, it's not really conducive to role playing games. So that's just uh, pro tip for y'all: make your characters together, whatever you're playing, make them
and
work off each other.
and even if you are playing that lone wolf type character that doesn't really want to be with the group, you can choose to keep yourself from taking specific talents to where the other players in the group are of use to your character, which will make you still stick around even though your character doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, and that's a very combative way to role play. And these guys, I don't. They can do whatever they want because I trust them. We have probably thousands of role playing hours together, so it's I know that they're not gonna go so far off the rails that they just turn the campaign into something else and totally miss the point. And well, I mean, they still kind of do sometimes, but
We go
but the
pretty far off the
but
rails,
they're
but
not
we
just gonna
stay.
be out there like time bombs, ready to end your campaign uh, unceremoniously. Um, and they can. I mean, we're all mature enough here that we can enjoy that rather than look at the character sheet that we took, so long to make and so hard to think of, and the character that we really wanted to play, and then just now they're dead and screw you, screw everybody in the campaign.
Well, that's why there's luck points.
Yeah, that's true. That's a mechanic we use that I don't think anybody else uses.
Because resurrection is stupid.
Resurrection is stupid. Don't do it, guys. Let's
Anyway,
see.
resurrection.
Yuli, it looks like you're uh, timely and surprised you're dead and stubborn, huh?
So far, yes.
All right, nothing crazy. Luke, you're over there enjoying some direction sense.
Yeah, I accidentally selected that one twice.
Hmm.
I wanted an extra drive vehicle. I'm thinking I'll put it in the notes as to which vehicles. But I was thinking generally cars and trucks could be considered the same thing. So as long as it's a light truck. So I was probably going to grab myself three
Go
different.
go with the class automobiles
Yeah.
standard, or sorry, automobiles automatic and automobiles manual.
Okay. So and I was also okay. Would that cover big rig?
Um, so yes, only because I've driven a big rig without ever having driven a big rig before, just
It's
because I know how to drive.
just got that double clutch thing.
Yeah, I know how to drive manual, so I figured it out. It wasn't too tough at all, just more sensitive from the clutch.
And then as far as a third category of driving a vehicle would be concerned, from automatic and manual motorcycle.
Uh, yeah, definitely.
So are we doing?
Well, I mean, the most motorcycles are manual, but they are trickier. Even when I first got on a quad, it was more difficult than the standard
And even though
than a
it's
manual automobile.
and even though it's just like riding a 200-pound 300-pound
Try 6 or 7.
motorcycle bicycle at 90 miles an hour. It's just like riding a bicycle.
Hmm. Sorry, helicopter, you had a question?
So if I want to do motorcycles, any kind of car, and I don't think we'll run into a tank. So maybe just those two.
Oh, tanks are the easiest ones to drive.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
like
they make
motorcycles,
items.
cars, and big cars, manual and automatic. How many drives do I need for that?
3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Luke's doing with uh, the automatic, the manual, and motorcycles being their own kind of thing.
Standby.
All right, let's see.
So, guys, what you're seeing in the little red boxes here, thanks to Luke, is if you don't have the prerequisites for a certain talent, it turns red and it tells you what the prerequisite you're missing is. As you can see there, Luke is going ahead and filling out his sheet and going along and filling out the prerequisites so that his boxes turn green. And thanks
Right
to
here,
his own genius there, it's spending the appropriate points for him as he does so.
and right there you can see I've just taken photographic memory. One of the boxes is green, the other one's red. So I'm going to have to go ahead and up my memory to 3 to fill the requirement. And you can see at the top of that direction sense has awareness of 3 or insight of 3. And since
So
I've
right here.
fulfilled one of the requirements and it's an or situation, one of the boxes went white. And that means I can go ahead and take it.
That's what those are. And there's some of the things that we want. Even if we can't release it, I think anyone who ends up buying a version of the game will get a copy of the character sheet sent to them.
Yeah, I'm figuring I'll either. I really like the format that I came out with for
And we had
this.
access to the drive folder, so you can make a
Yeah,
copy of it.
and
Um,
yeah, that would be beneficial. It would be a read-only copy, but of course,
yeah,
once you
yeah.
make a copy of it, then you have access to all the cells. And if you were to ever accidentally erase portions of code, you'd be able to go ahead and copy the code and replace whatever got messed up by either
Yes.
yourself or one of your players.
So that'll be our floor. That'll be the least you end up getting if you do end up supporting us in any way.
Otherwise, I'm going to be attempting to turn this into an app with the same format.
Sorry, it was work,
And
so I couldn't ignore it.
that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Oh, should I take a speak language considering the nature of spells?
I would say
The
Latin.
Well, no, 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 no,
No.
no, no. I would say that if you were going to speak another language, being that both Sean and Dan live in Texas, the only language you're likely to pick up is Spanish.
there's Texas English. Howdy, y'all. What you doing? G it?
No, I don't. I don't think that's worth taking a dialect. The rest of America can still
Well,
understand you for most part. So
not when they're like, "What you doing? G it?
they still
Did
get it. They still get it. Um, I mean, they'll get it after a little while. It's not. It's not a separate language.
practically
People
is,
people
you know.
understood King of the Hill, so
Yeah, but King of the Hill didn't do G yet. I mean,
Oh, come on,
Boomhauer.
Boomhauer did for
Yeah,
sure.
nobody understood Boomhauer. We're over there, Daniel T. Whitman, go, bam, and this thing, goes flying. That bird over there just went, bam. I was like,
If you watch enough King of the Hill, you understand Boomhauer.
oh,
It's,
are we gonna be using armor in this game?
uh, not likely because
Cool.
you like the fatigue probably won't be worth it if you're driving around for like 6 or 8 or 12 or 20 hours, whatever it is. I'll probably want to impose some fatigue rules on you, and being even in like in a leather jacket will make it worse. So you could, you could. I'm not saying you can't. It's just most armor that you would have access to. By the way, guys, we're playing in the 1980s. I think we're going to go with 87. Uh, so 87, like uh, regional knowledge of armor, of actual functioning armor, isn't as good as it is today.
Well,
You
you
don't
know,
only,
body armor.
yeah, the even the military wasn't using armor at that time.
I think they had
For No, they had armor for specific jobs, but I mean,
Kevlar, maybe.
yeah, they used to give them suspenders instead of armor. So,
Oh, there you go.
so there's not, your armor options are actually limited. Like referencing historical armor, you'd have to go to a museum to get armor that actually worked, as opposed to something you got out of a Bud K catalog. Um, so yeah, that would be limited. Ooh, let's see. Deflect arrows, huh?
Well, don't like demons throw fireballs and stuff and shoot guns at you?
Not really. Not really.
No. So deflectos wouldn't be necessary.
Um. So supernatural is selectively,
Preternatural.
yeah, but I'm talking about the show it's based off on. So you don't have to be that hard about it.
Not
Um,
not based on.
the show that it's not based on, right? Um, it's very selectively um fantastic. So I mean, just the fact that you can fight a demon is fantastic, but they try to stay grounded. Um,
So it's not like Charmed.
no one's catching an arrow. Even the most badass of badass hunters don't catch arrows in the show. They don't dodge bullets. Um, I mean, sometimes bullets miss, but like you just end up getting very limited use out of that talent in this campaign.
Good to know. Good to know.
Um, yeah, somebody would have to literally shoot an arrow at you, and while you live in Texas, and someone might, um,
Crossbow is more likely.
yeah, they're also more likely to just shoot you, which the talent won't be working for in this campaign. So, guys out there, just so you know, since the system that I wrote is campaign agnostic, there's little tweaks in the game here and there that let you ramp up or ramp down the fantasy so that you can play something more akin to like Lord of the Rings, where Legolas is a one-man army, and he can jump from elephant to elephant, slaying hordes of enemies by himself, or it lets you ground it really hard to where it could be used for something as mundane as like a cop drama. Um, and because that's what the discussion we were just having about is right now. Since Luke isn't actually familiar with the campaign material, he's only I and Yuli have watched Supernatural. Um, Luke has not.
I
And
watched.
this is another reason why it's important to hover over your characters in character creation, so you don't end up screwed out of points.
Yeah, I watch way too much anime and spend too much time coding sheets.
You know. Um, so Ulicopter, it looks like you're taking the twin fighting talents
Hmm.
and fight back to back.
Yeah, I'll be
Um,
taking the same thing.
okay, that's what I was gonna say. So those would be useless unless Luke also took them. Um,
Yes, we decided to give ourselves the ability to fight back to back.
mhm.
It sounds like it would be kind of advantageous in this campaign.
Well, being a duo campaign, yeah, definitely. Those let you do some Batman and Robin type stuff. Um,
Like no Robin.
wait, aren't you older? Don't you have to be Batman?
Oh, damn it, I'm Batman.
Let's see. Luke, it looks like you haven't renamed opportunistic strikes yet.
No, I haven't. That one's going to be kind of a run through job. That's going to be in 0.1.2 of the sheet. But once this thing is out of beta, everything should be set and ready to go for anyone who picks up the system.
Mhm.
I'm noticing that some of the
Program.
cells, which should not be accessible, have been blocked off. Good job, Hector.
Mm-mm. Yeah, guys. So we want to make it so you can only, as the GM, set the point cost so that characters can't overspend. Um, and so you have a version that you can give to your characters that they can't. That's idiot
Basically,
proof.
yeah, basically to where your characters, your players, they wouldn't be able to access any of the gray or white cells which contain code and possibly potentially damage the code. If that did happen, you'd still be able to replace it by copying it from an unused sheet and just pasting it right back in there. Hopefully, we'll be able to make an app out of this so that that is not even an issue. But if the app is long in development and the sheet is what is available, you'll be able to block off cells and allow your characters, your players, only access to the yellow cells. There are light blue cells that you will keep access for yourself only as a GM.
Yeah, Luke. I'm gonna let Luke brag as much as he wants because he's gone above and beyond in making this thing. Uh, I I wrote the system, and it still takes me about an hour to make a character on pencil and paper. Most people can't do that. So the game is very front loaded. It wants you to get down all the rules, just cram them into your character sheet right in the beginning. And the idea is that uh, taking taking that extra time in that first session to make your character makes it so you don't have to constantly look up rules. Um, you don't have to go to the book. You're not slowing down your game. You're not killing it for everybody.
It's also always good to have the rules on hand to be able to quickly reference any of them.
Yeah, but I mean, normally we don't have to go to rules. Um, the game plays itself once you have everything down on the character sheet. Sometimes, sometimes we do, but it's not often. It's
What,
definitely not as often as other games.
what was Salmonly?
That as complex as this one. What's that?
What was Salmonly?
Salmon Leap lets you jump and take opportunistic strikes against characters who attack you.
All right.
it's like a ready to action.
Hmm.
Like you're in a fight, you got to be like, I'm not gonna attack, but I'm gonna ready to jump, and then you get it gives you like a decent defense bonus, and you basically dodge and attack at the same time, and it gives you a defense bonus because you're doing some fancy stuff. That's what Salmon Leaf should be called, Hector. I'm gonna ready to. Machete,
What about it?
sword, one-handed short.
Um, yeah, yeah. It, yeah. So knives got moved to unarmed modified. So anything that's a knife, even a fighting dagger or whatever. So you're looking at a short sword.
I couldn't see the unarmed modified on the drop down.
No,
Uh, it won't be specifically unarmed modified. Those all have individual categories. Go ahead and
you'll be
open.
that. That does tell me that. Are you done with talents?
No,
Because you're doing proficiency now.
I'm trying to see how many quick draws I need
Oh, okay.
because I want to be able to quick draw
Right,
everything.
Hmm.
right here at this moment, Hector, if you would show on my sheet my skills,
Okay.
you'll notice that currently one of them is marked in red. It needs ranks to be able to be gotten a roll out of. You actually have to have it. You can see right there that the rank square is red until I put at least one rank in there.
Hmm.
That's all I
But
wanted to show on
guys,
that.
take a quick aside. Check out what I got today.
Oh,
Let me see
Christian
here.
sent me this. Christian, thank you, brother.
Oh,
Much appreciated. This is
nice.
super awesome. Brightened my day like you wouldn't believe. Thank you, man.
Let's see. And then what was Salmon Leap 2 while we're at that?
There's a two.
Yep.
Nobody's taken it in so long. I forgot.
yeah. I think two is
Two's the one that's fun.
I
You
think
need
that's
one
the
to
one
get
that
to.
works like crowded battlefield, where you can like redirect attacks and stuff like that in midair, like a badass.
Well, I am Batman, so
It looks like you're building pretty Batmanish character. So yeah. Oh,
mean,
of course, Luke likes to take photographic memory, so I can't screw him out of stuff.
because I can't remember. It's not
I
my
really,
fault. It's not my fault. It's my fault.
as a GM, it's the most fun thing to do is screw characters over. So we do have a little video up on YouTube on my channel, Artists for Hire, and you can see in the prelude because preternatural episodes have a prelude wherein like this is what happened before, or this is our victim who's dying, and this is the mystery they have to solve. Uh, I told them the name. You guys find yourselves in Argive's fight gym, tied up in chairs inside of the office in front of Chiron. Like 10 minutes later, they're like, "What was the name of that gym we were in?" And I was like, "Roll for it, baby. You got. You don't know. You didn't take notes. Not my fault."
Yeah, and I'm just like photographic memory, man.
uh, so we definitely want to mess with our characters as much as we can. It keeps them on their toes.
You mean entertains the GM?
Well, yeah, that too. it is the GM's job to make sure that everyone's having fun, including themselves.
All right.
4. So I need 4 quick draws.
Yeah, so just so you know, guys over there, Yuli's taking a bunch of quick draw talents over and over again because it pertains to a different weapon every time you take it. So being able to quick draw a sword doesn't make you necessarily better at drawing a gun or brass knuckles or what have you. And that's why he's getting those blue boxes that indicate that he needs a specific proficiency for each one of those.
And because there's the proficiencies are so varied, uh, it's ridiculously difficult to put it into the sheet. It's like, say you were to take it and you take quick draw and you have quick draw solely for handgun, then you're running around and somehow wind up with a shotgun and you say, well, I use quick draw. It's like, sure, you're able to take it, the square is green, but with the blue box, it's saying you're on your honor here to look it up and say, oh, I only have quick draw for this one specific weapon. I can't use it with a shotgun.
Hmm.
And nobody
Plus,
wants to fumble during combat. So having quick draw for every weapon you normally use is a good thing. Because I don't want to have quick draw on my sword and not my handgun. And I'm fighting with my sword, I get disarmed. It's like I go for my handgun. It's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna strike you down while you fumble with your with your holster.
yeah, so one of the things that this game does that other, in my opinion, good games do is they only let you do one thing in action, and that just keeps it fast so everybody's engaged. Whereas in some games, I mean, you got actions and reactions and bonus actions, and uh, just sit there and while for 15 minutes while a guy goes through all his goes through everything that he can do. I mean, once you got a table of 4 people, that means you're out of the game for 45 minutes before it comes back to you. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason for it. So, because of that, though, it gives you a nice way to punish characters again by telling them, okay, this action you drew your knife. Now stand there while I beat on you. You know, it's it sounds cruel, but it's realistic, and the game is based in reality. So,
Oh, and Yuli, you don't actually have to take the so many quick draws like you did. If you look at my character sheet there, notice how it says quick draw times 2. That means
Mhm.
I've taken it for 2 separate weapons.
But
is that what it
I need
means?
quick draw 4 times.
There's a quick draw times 4,
Oh,
which
so if I take the
means
quick draw times 4, that covers 4 weapons.
Oh, it
I
looks
see.
okay. So I
yeah,
didn't
it
know
does.
that either.
Yeah, it does the point cost for you as if you were to have taken it. That way, you don't fill up so many spots with the same labeled thing because you can write in your notes that the reason you
So
have
you
4 of them
so
is for.
he only needs the times 4, and that
Mhm.
thank you, Luke. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it's little things like that that I put into the sheet that I mean, it's like I forget that I did stuff.
No,
Um,
Ulicopter, you're supposed to delete only the 1, 2, and 3, not the
Hey, hey,
4.
hey, hey, hey. I'm deleting all the ones I don't need.
Okay,
And then I'm
yeah,
whatever.
it's
replacing
like
the original quick draw with quick draw 4.
I see.
exactly. Let's see, and this is going to be a let's see, and yeah, I think I'm also going with 4 of them things.
Ulicopter, tell us how the hell did we decide to play a Preternatural campaign? I don't remember.
I think we were just discussing what we wanted to play, and I think me and you were watching the show at the time, so it's like, hey, let's play this thing. You're like, yeah.
Well, there
I think
was
that's how that
there
went
was
down.
also no, there was also that I have the idea for a campaign, but nobody's watched the material. And on top of that, my campaign, I'm not a good enough GM to be able to break my campaign down into 2 hour sessions. And it's quite perfect to use a made up, completely fictional television show that we've never heard of before and use it as a base because it makes the story episodic with an overall story arc.
Right. So the system is campaign agnostic. It's setting agnostic. Um, it's a little bit amalgamated or anachronistic as it has.
Oh,
It affords you the ability to use like ancient weaponry as well as future weaponry, um, and equipment, armor, so forth, so on, so that you can quickly adapt it to uh, any campaign setting that you want. One of the things that uh, um, one of the book traps that you get into back in the day is like, oh, my favorite um, media is putting out a role playing game. I got to go buy it, and if it's successful, then you have to buy another book and another book and another book.
yeah, it's like have the monster manual now. Have the magic manual now because we've expanded it and updated. Here's the core rules.
No,
What you need.
TSR is one of the worst book traps ever. If it probably is the worst book trap ever. There's seriously things in there that says, "Oh, for the rest of this campaign, buy this book," even though on the cover it'll say complete guide. It's like it's just freaking awful. And while some of those books are still cool to pick up and look through, um, you'll find sometimes little wonky mechanics here and there and stuff like that. Things that
Damn it.
sometimes I do really well. Sometimes, so if you're not going to play my role playing game, which isn't out yet, so I don't blame you for buying another one. Um, the ones that do it well are the quirky ones, the small light ones that at least capture the feeling of the campaign that they're doing very well. Um, but the drawback that I would say that those have is that they are kind of empty. They don't have the nuance. Um, for the most part, I'm sure there's some that do. Um, they they lack they lack a real in-depth thing because it's just like, oh, we got a license for this intellectual property. We need to put a book out now. They smash it out. Some very clever guys go in there and they make a fun game for sure. But it's going to be lacking. Usually, it's going to be lacking that real in-depth look at the subject matter. People gotta. I mean, for example, the Alien game that they put out, some brilliant stuff in there, but also some oversights that just seem janky, rushed. Really kind of take you out of it. Don't make sense, or plot holes, or um, which is cool if you go ahead and support that stuff. But on the other hand, I think it'd just be better to have one system where you can run it, and it ends up seamless. I'm very proud of this game in that it's never failed to really capture the essence of any IP that I wanted to stick in there. Um, we've done all sorts of things. Why don't you, Luke, sound off some of your favorite IPs that we've played using this system?
Oh, geez, man. One of my favorites that you did was the Predator versus Aliens, where we started out with humans and got slaughtered.
That was fun. That was fun.
And the more people that we actually survived and the longer we actually were able to survive with, if we survived at all, gave us more rank and whatnot as when we took on the role of predators. And that one was pretty fun. Let's see.
That was one of my favorites too.
I remember I thought the that your role playing styles fit with you and Yuli as the main characters from Samurai Champloo.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, that summer
Yeah, that
campaign
was.
was insane.
Yuli, Yuli set an entire field on fire, and I kept rolling to see
Of
which
course, he did.
direction the fire was going. Was it going out yet? It just got bigger and bigger. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Don't give your characters fire, guys. Ever. This. They, oh man, it's already gosh, last two sessions are completely out of hand because of fire.
Well, the
Or
first, the first of the last two sessions, I was loopy and tired because I was up late working on the sheet, and so I just set some stuff on fire,
yeah, but at
some
least you only
people on
set
fire.
people on fire instead of the building, so that it wasn't likely to catch.
I didn't make a good decision. And the second time I did make a good decision because I was able to prevent our target from escaping out of any windows or back doors by
Yeah, I
leaving the
mean, no, it's
house.
fine. You guys are evil, but it doesn't matter. Like every time somebody gets fired, it's always a mess. I don't know how. I don't even know how people play D&D. With like fireball being the most popular spell in the game, it's like how is that? How is the whole campaign world not burnt to ashes? It's like
The trees, the
because
grass,
I don't
there's
I haven't
everything would be on fire.
I've only played fifth edition once and I don't
Made
remember
it
if anyone had
fireballs.
fireball.
Maybe the fireballs are so magical these days that they only set their target on fire, but not the surrounding area.
Yeah, no, I remember in the you played some of the old ones. It just fireball used to specifically say, I don't know if it still does, that things are set on fire by fireball.
Ah, that was back in like advanced, I think.
Yeah, well, I played advanced and I remember that.
Yeah. One thing on the sheet that's happening right now. This is the reason we're still in beta. If you look at my red boxes there, one of them is for quick draw, and you notice I have quick draw times four. There's an error in my coding in the sheet. I'm going to have to fix that for the next update. But as you can see, I do have quick draw,
hmm.
and I'm going to have to get proficiencies in all those weapons, of course, to be able to use both of these.
Oh, you're both
But
taking surprise you're dead, huh? All right.
yeah, but if you notice that quick draw with the red X there, just ignore that. We'll consider it a green check mark because it's obvious that quick draw is right there, and I'll fix that later.
Hmm.
I'm gonna guess that I'm done with talents.
Yeah, I mean, you're always free to revisit it later. What are you going to do next?
Um,
Double tap again, huh? This isn't that one's it's like one of the best talents, isn't
oh yeah, let you fire two times.
it?
Who doesn't want to fire twice instead of once? Yeah.
Well, that's the next talent I'm taking.
Well, the thing is, you can, but you'll end up with
A negative on the recoil, maybe.
yeah, exactly. You'll end up with a much worse recoil.
Deadly tripping.
Like I feel like I should take more talents, but at the same time, I don't want to take too many talents and then not be able to proficiently use my skills because they'll all be, rank one or whatever.
Well, look at
I want to kick
how
ass
many
out of the
points.
box. Wow.
No, no. That's why look at your point cost thus far and see how much you've spent,
Well,
and that way you can decide whether or not you still need to reserve more points.
No, yeah. I'm
I
gonna
think
save.
ooh, 81, huh? I think rule of thumb normally like to spend about uh, a quarter of your points in talents.
Well,
That seems that's just rule of thumb. You don't have to.
yeah, and it's like right now, what's happening is if you look at my skills at this point, they've become slightly fleshed out as I'm satisfying costs for talents, prerequisites for talents. So I've actually got quite a few skills going on up there.
Um, so this game it does lend itself to min maxing um, and power playing, which is something we're not against here. However, when you're playing, depending on the style of campaign that you're playing, like this one, you do want to stop certain types of min maxing where your character becomes so imbalanced, like a big, heaving, brutish, uh,
Trunks,
dumb barbarian is just so much fun to play sometimes. Um,
Mayhew.
in this game where you're supposed to have meaningful conversations, Yuli, what do they call it in the play? The episode of the play where they have BMT or something. Boy,
Oh, yeah.
boy,
I can't
boy.
remember, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
They're supposed to have boy talk or something.
yeah,
To have their feelings out. That's one of the things we're going to be visiting during the campaign. Obviously, if you have a big old Mongo character, he's not going to be able to participate too well in those things. So that's um, that's when you want to stop certain types of min maxing. Um, Luke, were you still working on your talents?
Yeah, the one that I wanted to do was get a double tap. Oh, it says melee proficiency.
That's interesting. I'm not sure if that's right or not.
Yeah,
We'll
it might
look
be
at
an
it later.
artifact from something else.
It might be.
I think it's
How do
a
you
melee proficiency and weapon used. And then there's the power minimum requirement is met, which will be shown when I go ahead and get the proficiencies for my weapons.
how is the melee
Oh,
proficiency represented on the sheet? Like I could shoot a gun and beat people with it proficiently.
Those are both weapon proficiencies. I believe beating a person with a weapon, such as a pistol whip, would be categorized in either alternate uses for weapons or simply a melee proficiency in a ranged weapon.
right. There should be a melee proficiency for ranged weapons.
Yeah, because I mean, you could take your bow from your bow and arrow and whack somebody pretty good with it. You might break your bow, but you could still whack them pretty good. You could even take an arrow and use it as a stabbing weapon rather than a projectile, but you would need that
Hmm.
proficiency.
I want to see somebody put their bow over somebody's head and choke them out with it or something. That'd be great.
Garrot.
just
That
jam,
would be
just jam their neck down into the part where the bow meets the string, and I
yeah,
don't know. I
that
called it.
Draw the bow with their neck?
Yeah, no. Stick their neck between there and like hold the top of the bow and stomp your foot down on their head and choke them out that way or something.
you
That'd
know,
be
that
fantastic.
would be a proficiency at alternate uses for weapons.
Yes, it would. Um,
Let's see.
Okay,
that'd be
I
cool.
don't really
I've never seen that
see
in
it.
a movie.
So what if I just take the same proficiency twice to represent that?
No,
Just take an alternate use or something.
they should all be there. You might want to look at the like use the little check mark in the upper left hand side to get the bottom piece back, and then look at the weapons chart.
Luke, did you put proficiencies and talents? They are technically talents. I'm not sure if you separated the boxes or
Oh, I
something.
did. I did. The proficiencies are your weapons up at the top of the character sheet on the right hand side. Um, the weapons sheet is all your weapon proficiencies and masteries.
Oh, I see. I didn't even realize you're doing that over here. Are you doing the same thing now, or you still on talents? All right. Let's
I'm
see.
almost there.
Shotguns.
This is on.
Let's-
I'll just have to.
Do not see melee proficiencies for ranged weapons. But I mean, since proficiencies are only a point each,
Yeah, just take it twice.
just take twice whatever I have it in for
I'd say
point cost sake. Oh
because
man.
do not see the. What'd you do? What?
I like X'd out on my thing.
You can open it back up. Also, if you're taking a
Everything you do is
mastery,
saved.
if you're taking a mastery in a weapon, um, those are on the same thing. They just have an M before them. They're
Oh,
just further down. The list doubles, and if you're taking a mastery, there's no need to take the original proficiency just to save space on the sheet. The mastery contains already the original proficiency.
So did I accidentally take? Do I accidentally have a mastery in two-handed shotguns?
Does it have an M?
Yeah,
it
it
says
has a M
shotguns and
space 2H.
Yeah,
Oh.
that would be the mastery.
No. Tis
That's
a
why
mistake on
it'll
my part.
yeah. Then you'll notice that it would have a higher point cost. I'm noticing that there may be an issue with the sheet. Let me check.
I wonder if anyone's watching. It'd be cool if somebody hit us up on chat. I'd be so excited.
Yeah, where did I put that? Because I left.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
It was
hi
a
here.
weapon intimacy or something. I can't remember the name of it. Where you
Yeah,
have
the
the one.
intimacies are the. It's the proficiency, the mastery, and then the intimacy.
Yeah, and I left the intimacy, I believe, as a talent because it had prerequisites. It's also to where it only goes to one weapon. Like you have your Smith and Wesson 500, and if you lose that one, the next Smith and Wesson 500 you come across isn't going to be exactly the same with all the subtle nuances of your original Smith and Wesson 500. So you just lost that thing, and it just sits there and does nothing now.
No, they're transferable, but it takes time. The idea is you can only be have an intimacy with so many weapons at one time,
Three.
basically.
I don't remember where I moved that. If I moved that then, because I might have moved that then. This is
uh,
what happens with all the updates as I start to not be able to remember what the heck I did with things.
I only see an M for shotguns. Unless it's further down the list. Maybe it's just further down the list.
Well, there might be. I don't remember why there would be an M for shotguns, but I copied Hector, I copied what you had written in the
Oh no, I see it now. I see it now. At the bottom of the
okay.
list, there's an M, and then like what the weapon's called. Those are the masteries. Okay, I see.
Yes, 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 yes.
So for whatever
No,
reason,
no, no.
shotguns do have an M. Medium shotguns, maybe.
Yeah, it's medium and large.
Okay.
I don't know why actually has that, but
Hmm, that's odd. A bunch of extra space at the bottom of the sheet too. It looks like I'll have to look at another sheet. I don't even know how it would have happened, but it looks like the weapon, or maybe I was planning on putting them back in because I was redoing all the weapons, but the weapon, or did I put it in weapons itself for intimacy?
oh, yeah, that's actually now that I'm looking at it, Luke, it needs an update because shotguns is no longer a proficiency category. It should be shoulder fired.
I copied
Oh,
exactly what you had, man. So
Oh,
shoulder
when,
weapons.
I'll have
Right.
to
yeah,
go.
when you fix that, then let me know and I'll do it another update. I got to fix a bunch of other stuff anyways.
All right, no problem.
Let's see then. Could possibly be in traits. A bunch of extra space down here too. Well, I guess I must have forgotten. Is this 0.01,
Ah.
man?
What? No, no, no. It was 0.1.1.
Okay.
Well, I copied the sheet you sent me, sir.
All right. Because oh no.
If not, we'll figure it out. Yuli, you didn't answer the question. What was some of your
What
favorite
the
IPs that
heck?
we've ended up playing?
Oh man, one of my favorites was when we were playing the not Final Fantasy campaign. That's still one of my top favorites, man, because it was so
Uh,
fantastical and it was super epic, and I think everybody had like 6 characters or something ridiculous, just in different parts of the
yeah.
world or different parts of the timeline. It was super epic.
So guys, pro advice here: when
Something
you got
happened.
when you got a campaign so epic that you have all your friends playing and it's running on for years and years, end it. End the campaign
No,
so you can
okay.
have some resolution because you're only young once and you're you're gonna get old and your friends are gonna move away and get jobs and I mean screw all that noise. I'm not
Whoa.
about it, but you got to end those campaigns, man. Don't let them. If you've got those friends that are going to stick around for decades, lucky you. I've got a couple of them here, but I mean this is we've been whittled down as the time passes. Uh,
Friends come in and then some friends disappear and come
yeah,
back again later, but
yeah,
yeah,
but we're old and
we're hardcore nerds.
married and have careers. Not us on screen, but the guys that aren't here. So
That's why the three of us are still together because
yeah, screw all that noise.
But even if I lived like in Japan, I'd still video conference with you guys and role play,
yeah, yeah.
So
So I mean,
shouldn't matter. It's the other people not making the time
yeah, there's a lot of love
for the gameage.
for this here. Um, but yeah, and those plan them out, end those campaigns. Get your story done
It was
because
gonna be super
those
epic, bro. All we needed
it
was like
was
maybe like 2 more years.
Yuli,
And
Yuli,
yeah,
I
yeah.
still
Maybe,
say you make it
probably
into
more
a
like
book.
five,
I
more like
still
five.
say you make it into a book, dude. That'd be an epic read.
There was a lot of cool stuff in there. A lot of cool
dude,
stuff.
Yeah, I wish we
Yuli,
recorded more of our sessions.
Yuli, check the sheet
Mhm.
that's not the character
Where are
sheet
you at?
itself. Go to the what is it, talents, and scroll down to the bottom. There are weapon familiarities.
I see that.
There are 3 weapon intimacies and the melee proficiency
Oh.
for ranged weapons.
What are you working on? So I can show it on the screen.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Uh,
whoa, whoa. A
Are
melee
they
proficiency
challenged?
with a weapon is 3 points?
Mastery is 3 points.
yeah, mastery is 3 points, but the melee proficiency, if you Hector, if you wanted to go to where we're at, use the bottom tabs to select the talent sheet.
The bottom tabs.
Yeah, the ones that say character, uh, what is it? Character skills, talents, traits. Let me
What
take a
part
look
of the
at what
sheet
you
is that
got.
on?
Let me take a look at what you got on screen here. Okay, you see where it says character down at the bottom,
Oh, okay.
and then right next to it is
Yes.
skills.
Sure.
Then if you yeah you scroll through those, you'll want to get to I believe it was talents.
Mhm.
And in talents, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that there is the weapon intimacies, and then there is the melee proficiency for ranged weapons, which requires you have an attack of 1. My attack is currently at 3. I'm probably going to raise that up a little bit later. And alternate uses for weapons are also categorized in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you scroll to the right, you'll be able to see the cost of each one.
Mm.
221. Oh, I see.
Yeah, because if you take if you take a weapon intimacy just alone, that would be just 7 points. If you take weapon intimacy times two, that's
Hmm.
14 because now you have it for two weapons, so on and so forth. And then you
Any
can
way to
see
note for what weapon it is, or no? Not at this point.
no, and then the
Should be.
melee proficiency
Damn
for
it.
ranged weapons, that's just a single point.
Hmm.
And then you'd have to say if you took your intimacies with your weapons, you'd have to put that in your notes as to which intimacies you have with which weapons. That way, if you lose that weapon, your character is royally screwed.
All right. What part of your sheet are you working on, Luke?
I am still working on my what you call it talents. I wanted to take two more, I believe. Then I was going to be done. That or just one more. It's just they weren't loading for some reason. The sheet didn't load completely. Sometimes it does funny stuff like that. That's where I was like, "What? Something's wrong. Did you get the right sheet?" Because half of the traits, literally half, did not display. It was just all blank, and the weapon intimacies at the bottom of the talents sheet didn't display. And I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" And when I reloaded it, boom, there they all were.
Hmm. Yuli, you still working on proficiencies, or
Yeah.
okay?
All right,
S-
I just need one more.
So, these guys down here below me are actually super good GMs themselves. Um, I'm going to tell you about. Oh man, Luke, my favorite campaign that you ran. That's a tough one between
It
the
was
Star Wars and the Resident Evil one, but we're
yeah, the
both so
Resident
good.
Evil one was
I think.
that one was fun because it was
I
just a
think.
brutal dungeon crawl with crazy puzzles.
I think maybe I don't like that one as much because I lost.
Yeah, but that's because I PvP'd you guys at
It
the
was
end,
it
man.
was epic. There was some epic PvP at the end. There was some betrayal. It was oh man, it was really good, really amazing.
And all the puzzles,
I liked when
all
one of
the
the party
puzzles.
members was all, oh look, a boss fight. Ah, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I'll see you later.
But yeah, oh,
All the
no, that
puzzles.
wasn't it. That wasn't it. We had AB at the campaign,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was trying to recruit him to my side. And when the PvP happened, it ended up 2-on-1 because he just checked out.
yeah,
He's like, "I'm gonna go back to the bar," is what he said.
yeah.
He was such a quitter. Oh, and
That
what's it
is
called? I like
Sophie.
that one. All of those puzzles, like the little physical puzzle I had that wound up making a hexagon, and you're like, ah, what? There's extra pieces.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, no, that was super good, super good. And Yuli, I really liked playing in your original campaign with the Beastmen
Ah,
stuff.
yes, the video
I
game
got
campaign. Yeah.
no, the Beastmen.
Oh yeah,
Ol-
yeah,
Oliver North and Walter Cronkite.
That was fun, man. That was fun.
yeah.
So I'm more uptight than these guys, right? And we're making our characters. Me and Luke are making our characters together, and we get done, and I ask Luke, "Oh man, I'm finished, man. What you we just got to name? I just got to name my character." And he's like, "Yeah, me too. What are you gonna name your character?" And he says Walter Cronkite. I'm like, "Get the hell out of here, man! You can't name him that. That's messed up. Stop it!" Like he's pulling out a Boba Fett right now, right? And I am like super irked, super pissed. Um, I'm like, no, dude, you can't name him Walter Cronkite. And Yuli's the GM, and I look over at him, and he says, I don't care. So GM says he doesn't care. GM says he doesn't care. That's just the way it goes.
Bam,
It's a
Oliver North.
it's a GM's world. So I'm like, okay, man, then I guess I'm gonna be Oliver North. And I absolutely loved Oliver North. He's definitely one of the coolest characters I ever got to make. So
Fantastic campaign too.
You're a
mhm.
little speed demon, and Luco
Yeah.
is like a sharpshooting mage.
Um, let's see. Machete would be short sword,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I asked him in the beginning. Sword, one-handed
one-handed
short.
short sword. All right, cool. Oops. But yeah, Hector, I'm on to proficiencies and masteries. Go. Oh, power requirement. Look at that.
Huh.
It fleshes out your character for you because now I need to put in a power requirement, and bam, power requirement met.
All right. So these guys have made plenty of characters in my system. So way down there at the bottom is lead playtester. Um, and Luke's made quite a few characters himself. But
Yeah, but I'm no
normally I recommend that people start out with their attributes because that kind of tells you what your character looks like, and in my opinion helps out your imagination. And then you go back and adjust because it's one of the easiest things to adjust in the game. So
indeed.
um, as you have to you normally have to adjust in this game. Oh, I don't have enough of this skill, or I'm missing this talent, or whatever. Then you have to go back and start adjusting points to get them to where you're at, so you're within your limit. And because attributes are one of the easiest things to adjust, I normally suggest to start there. But these guys have a lot of experience, so they go ahead and do it their own way,
Now
which is perfectly fine.
there's also that the design of this character sheet. It's like as I'm going, when I start out with talents, it's going to have a lot of you need this reflex or this accuracy or this amount of will, and so I'll fill those in as I'm going, and that way when I go to flesh out the rest of my character with the rest of my points, because if you look at my attribute points right now, I've already used 25 of 40, um,
Hmm.
and that was just that's just in fulfilling requirements. After which I can raise other attributes, and I usually raise them after I've taken my skills, because I'll look at which ones are most useful to my skills.
Yeah, plus the character sheet lets you get away with it quick and dirty because it does all the math for you.
Yeah.
It is a points buy system.
Oh,
So
Hector,
mhm.
sorry. The 1911 45 caliber considered a concealable handgun?
No, not really. It depends how big your character is, right?
All right. So then it would just be.
I mean, and it also depends what you wear. If you have a jacket on, you can definitely get away with a shoulder horse harness.
Oh, it's just because
Um,
in the
I used I
sections
I
here
I
you
used
have.
to I used to carry one in a belt too, inside the pants holster.
Oh, it's just I'm looking in handguns under the weapon proficiencies and masteries.
Yeah, but
There
it's
is handgun one handed, light, and handgun one handed concealable.
yeah. So it's not in the concealable category. I mean, you can still conceal it,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right?
it would just be
But
light then, or would it be heavy handgun?
um,
45 cal 1911.
yeah. Sorry, what are the categories again?
Concealable, light, and heavy.
Oh, those they would put it in light.
Light for the 1911
Yeah,
45.
if those are the only categories, put it in light.
Okay.
So, guys, right now there's a real um, because I am a fan of firearms. There's a huge uh, sub book. Um, what's the word?
Compendum.
Compendum. Yeah, of a firearm building system, which lets you.
It's gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, but it hasn't been updated to this, so we're not using it right now. But you can basically build any real life handgun, and in addition, laser weapons, plasma weapons. But anything from an arquebus to a minigun, The it has a breakdown of anything you need to make your own gun, and it gets really intricate, but uh, it is like because it's something that I enjoy. It's intricate on purpose, but we won't be using it because it's really not the focus of the game, and it does need an update. I'm not sure if I'm going to release that with the main game. I kind of wish I could just like give everything all at once, but that's impossible. I realize everything
Right.
is infinite, so
Yeah,
I
exactly,
can't.
exactly.
So I
Besides
can't give
that,
infinity.
yeah, no, besides that, I mean, if you consider it, what is already in the main core rules of the system, the
Oh, it'll
guns
get you by.
the guns are described well enough to where a GM who was savvy in his own right on weapons, he'd be able to go ahead and write his own tables. It would be a lot of work, of course, and your tables are really accurate, so it would be recommended to purchase the compendum, but not exactly necessary. And having the compendum attached to the core rules would only make the core rules more expensive.
Right. So there's a couple things that would like to put in compendiums but can't. Like magic, you just need a magic system to play an RPG. It's just one of those things. And
Yeah.
the game also has a mass combat system, which lets you play
Armies.
inside of it. So you play the regular game inside of that, and the point for that is to have mass combat not slow your game down, but
Yeah,
still let
because
you be a part of it. And because
yeah,
that's
if you're controlling an army,
yeah, and because battles
yeah,
are so integral to most campaign settings, that's also going to be part of the core system.
And nobody wants to roll 50 dice for one squad's attack, so.
Yeah, yeah, that's ridiculous. So Yuli, it looks like you moved on to traits.
Yes, I'm gonna have
And
questions.
yeah, and it looks like
that
you
adds up
are
later.
on belief of social stigma, which is wonderful. So this game uses a thing we call realism traits because it's just realistic that most people have them. And belief of social stigma is an adherence to avoiding social taboos.
No
Um,
cannibalism.
sure, that's definitely one of them. Um, so you want to. So this is what other games tell you on your session zero. You should be or other like content creators, people with good advice. All of them, for what I've seen, most of them, the vast majority of them give really good advice. You guys should be checking those guys out if you need some. There's tons of them on YouTube. But they all get into this idea of you having a social contract with your characters, wherein you agree that there's limits to the kinds of things you're going to be doing while you're role playing, and it's super important. And uh, this game has it spelt out for you so that you can look back at it and be like, look, bro, you got the points for this trait. You said you weren't going to do that. That's not inside of your character to play with, and it's not like that dirty, broken alignment system that people. I mean, the controversy on that will never end because D&D will never admit that they make anything wrong.
Oh, dude,
So
chaotic neutral. You can't be chaotic. There's no such. You're either neutral or you're not. Oh, I'm chaotic neutral, so I'm gonna shit on everything half of the time, and the rest of the time I'm gonna kind of play by no rules.
yeah, yeah, it's just those. So I mean, especially if you're going to give equipment and stuff like a holy adventure requires that you have a good alignment. But good is such an amorphous word. It really has no meaning. So the traits that the guys are taking now, they are a little ambiguous, and that's because cultures are ambiguous, and they need to be um, because the game is campaign agnostic. Like I said, they need to be flexible to different campaigns. But when you get in there and you run your campaign, you should be like, this is exactly what this degree of this trait means, and that's what you're going to agree to play. And the characters get rewarded by getting points for it.
Yeah, if you notice, all the points in the cost section there on the traits that Yuli and I are taking are negative, which are refunding points.
Right. So we have fear of death, um, and that keeps your characters from doing suicidal stuff or really stupid stuff. It'd be like, come on, dude, are you really going to do that? And then you look over at the fear of death trait and be like, you better think this through or come up with another way because that doesn't make sense. Same thing for fear of injury. Uh, if you notice, Luke is taking respect of law and Yuli is taking fear of law. So what that means is that Luke actually believes in law, while Ulicopter just doesn't want to get caught. and, it, and it's a really low version of that. So he's not afraid to break most law. He's pretty lawless over there, but he still gets a few points because fear of law one means that he's going to be avoiding the worst things that you can do, like genocide. That's not in the scope of his
or,
character.
or, or like murdering somebody in broad daylight, a bunch of witnesses around on purpose.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
gonna do
So
that.
that's not something that he would do, and we can look at his character sheet and see like uh, that's not what you do. On the other hand, it looks like Luke is very law
Batman.
abiding.
No,
Um,
Batman only just
he,
doesn't kill.
he he also doesn't litter.
Yeah, I won't litter. I won't do
So,
anything.
so all my down and dirty stuff has to be done behind your character's back. That's what
Unless
it
you want
looks
me to
like.
take,
That's
unless you
exactly
want
what
me
it
to,
looks like. He's
unless
going to
you want me
stop
to
you.
take you out behind the shed and give you a whooping.
Well, good
Hmm.
thing I'm a rogue.
I might drop that down a little bit, man.
You might want to because
I think we kind of have to
uh, like
for
I
the
said,
campaign.
Luke isn't familiar with the campaign, and one of the things that they do is like every episode, almost every episode, probably 80% is impersonate law enforcement. Um,
And B and E constantly, constant B and E.
yeah, all the time. So,
Alright.
but I mean, like, if Luke really wants those 15 points, he can, he
Yeah,
can,
No,
um,
I'll find those somewhere else.
he can play it that way.
That would be
Are
really
those
difficult.
backwards? I think the point costs are backwards on this. You have to look them up.
No, I notice it's a negative 2 points that refunds 2 points for respective law one.
Yeah, but
Uh,
you only got
the negative 15 would refund you 15 points for
Mm.
yes,
respective
but I think no.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see what you mean.
So
They're a little
fear
backwards.
fear or why'd you change it? Fear of law should be fear of law one should be 2 points, and respect of law one should be four.
law. Oh,
Ah,
there must have been a confusion. In which case,
Yeah, see, that's correct point cost. Fear of law four is 30, but it said 15 on yours. Oh wait, no. Yeah,
I have
no. Sorry. So respect of law four is 30. Fear of
okay.
law is half. So you got them
All right.
flipped.
Well, in this case, then we'll just
Take,
swap
take,
the names before I fix that in the next update.
yeah.
Beta.
Hmm.
I mean, it's still pretty much alpha as far as it's going, but we're out of the code problems, so that's why I'm considering it beta.
Hmm.
So
But
even
but
though it
that but
says
that's that's
fear
that,
of, even
that's
though it's
fine.
saying
Just
fear, yeah, fear of law, it's the respect of law
yeah, just
because
take
there
the
we
one
go.
with the appropriate point cost for now. So if you wanted
Yeah, exactly.
respect, take fear. Um, so it looks like both of you have self-preservation instincts, and what that does is it's an automated response that your body will take. You might shrivel up and hold your injury and quietly wait to die, or you might run for your life. and that is activated by taking penalties in your hitbox. Um, they also have looks like Yuli's taking some values human life, which is a good trait for any good character to take. It looks like he's taking a very low form of it,
Hmm.
so so you can get away with killing
The bad
some
people.
unsavory people.
Bad men get bullets in the face.
I was actually thinking, or at least hoping that because you guys won't often, you shouldn't often be fighting humans. You might want to squeeze some more points out of there. Um,
Like that.
I'm gonna take just the one, cause if a guy's coming at me with a gun,
well,
or if a guy has a gun like on a civilian, and I know
well,
I can stop
well.
him by shooting him in the face, I'm gonna.
I don't remember exactly which degrees of that preclude self defense. I think only the last one precludes self defense. So you should be able to get away with two if that's what you wanted to do. Uh,
Yeah, and
I think
three and
yeah, I think three is even at the cost of your own life, and two is at, allows you to protect yourself or others. I can't remember, but it should say
yeah,
it there really clearly.
I think three is the one that would stop you from protecting others.
Yeah, three is the one where you wouldn't kill anyone no matter what,
No, you
and you wouldn't get the double points for it because humans are not the main enemy in the campaign. Even though that's it's kind of a semantic argument because
Hmm.
yeah, everything in the campaign's human, but none of it is. So
they're possessed humans, but once they're possessed, they're dead.
well, yeah, once they're possessed, they Sam and Deem no longer seem to have an issue with killing that stuff. So they do they do go out of their way to dispossess victims of ghost possession, but they don't bother when it comes to demonic possession.
Values human life goes all the way to six, and I'd like to squeeze out as many points as possible from this. So, why don't you give us a rundown from the rules of what each values human life does?
Well, you can only take one form of it,
I know,
but once
but if I'm going to be trying to defend other people and probably have to kill something
you
somewhere somehow,
just avoid three because that will preclude you from killing someone even
well,
in self defense.
I'm thinking that you're remembering the old rules, dude, because this one values human life goes all the way to six.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to drop the sheet right now because I have your guys' sheet up on the screen.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Hey, Yuli, how about you give me a rundown? Since we're both about to take
Fine.
values in life and the rules have been updated, we might want to know what's going on with those.
They should be a lot clearer now, and they're more generous.
Okay, let me find it first. Boop. I think I found it. Okay, what are we looking at? Values human life?
Yeah,
Yeah, there should be six levels of it.
Mhm.
I
You know
think
what?
there's
I'm
six
gonna.
levels because there's a double up option for when humans are the main um, villain in the campaign or your own
Could be.
species.
It could be. In which case, it would just be one, two, and three.
Yeah,
Character with this trait will not harm those of his own species unless he believes them to be dangerous to himself or others and gets 5 points for this trait. If they will not harm members of their own race even at the cost of their own lives, they get 10 points instead. If they will actively protect lives even at the cost of their own, they gain 15 points. They can double the points if their own species is the main villain of the campaign.
Ah, well, then it sounds like our two
see,
characters would take values human life three, maybe two.
It's tricky.
Yeah, I think Yuli's like at one or two, because right, tops. Because
Yeah.
yeah, because two means you won't. So two is the won't take human life, even at the risk of your own, and it's not the worst thing in the world. You might be like, oh, it's only five more points, but it's really not the worst thing in the world because it shouldn't come up often. And if you think about it, when in the preternatural thing, Sam and Dean do actually go out of their way not to kill humans, even when they're shooting at them.
And they'll run into danger to try to protect humans.
Yeah, three is the one that's the extreme one. You might want to avoid that one, but
I wouldn't
I
even know
think
how to play three.
I think you'd get away with you wouldn't even know how to play three.
No.
No,
It's
you're,
too
you're
bad
two.
the attractiveness in the character sheet broke somehow. Oh, that's right. There's multiple sheets. Uh, I'm gonna fix it, and
Okay.
it's a simple fix. I'm gonna fix my sheet. So
Okay, Yuli, it looks like you're taking a friend.
Yeah. Which I'll have to build separately on a different sheet.
Hmm. So, in the vein of the old advanced D&D, where you could take an underling or a hireling, I can't remember what they were called, one of the two lings. You can just flat out buy a friend in the campaign, and you can make yourself a little Robin character if you want.
Yeah,
If
I'm purchasing a non-combat friend.
hmm. So non-combat friends are extremely useful when it comes to whatever it is they do, but they won't join you in combat.
I'll build them on a separate sheet a little later.
It looks like Luke decided to make himself extremely handsome over there.
yeah, and I see what went wrong with the traits because of all the adjustments that were done to the sheet. I forgot to adjust the attractiveness. Okay, I can go ahead and I'll fix that later for the next update. But yeah, I'm gonna play a hunk.
So attractiveness gives you a real in-world advantage in the campaign. Therefore, you're charged points for it. Likewise, you could decide to be a little more
Grotesquely hated.
homeless. Yeah, you could, and that as that will affect you as it should in real life, then you'd also get points for that. Well, it's not a lot of points. It's just a little point of interest there that the game does. Traits.
Okay, Hector. I'm 5'10". I have a 1 health and a 3 stamina. Approximately how much you think I weigh?
Anywhere between 165 to 195.
Okay. Let's put 180.
Yeah, yep, that's pretty average. And 180 is the average weight for a male character, according to medical data. I'm just chuckling to myself because I've put in so much research into this game. Um,
That's what makes a good game.
yeah, beat everything from BMI to obesity to. I mean, there's obviously stuff that I left out on purpose because it's just not fun, like cataracts or, but
Not that it's
tone,
not.
toenail fungus.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
in.
not fun. That's
It's not.
that's well, I mean,
It's not in the game. Stuff like that's not in the game. Stuff that's superfluous to role playing, obviously. But there is a lot of since we're in traits, and we should be getting to those now. I don't know if the characters are going to take any of them, but there's
cataracts could go in there. It would be like partially blind.
yeah. It just since nearsighted's already in the game, and it it's close enough. I didn't bother to put it in.
I
Um,
too am going to take a friend.
I'm gonna go ahead and move on to skills.
okay. So no negative traits for you. I was hoping somebody would take one at least.
Oh, I'm
Mm,
probably going to take a few negative traits then.
no, yeah, I'll be a smoker.
Yeah. Negative traits are fun. Um, they're kind of like character flaws in other games. Uh, a lot of them are just flat out physical. Like, you want to make a one armed character, you can. And uh, there's some. It does take dedication though, because I mean, once you don't have an arm in a campaign, it's going
Oh,
to affect your
hectic.
the way your character plays for the rest of the campaign, right?
Indeed. As I was going through, I hit reputation. I'm not going to buy any, but I figure our characters are going to have a reputation that you might want to put
You
in.
shouldn't. You really shouldn't start with any.
Okay. I mean, sometimes in certain situations, like depending on the characters, it just reminded me.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't start with any. Um,
Oh, I
there's
wasn't going to
there's
buy.
it it depends what you buy, because once we get into this, we need you to look at the campaign specific um, sheet, the preternatural sheet, and if you buy it may change what your characters it might change your characters starting the way that they start the campaign based on what you buy. In case I know Helicopter was interested in buying a hunter's journal, so
Where would we put those points?
you're just gonna the for what the hunter's journal?
No, yeah, I'm saying like on the sheet. Where would we record that in the
You're
trait
just gonna have to put it in notes or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
under special cost, maybe.
Uh,
Luca,
Yeah,
what's your question there?
the hunter's journal, the one that gives us a percentage of stuff and things. And
I think
if you look at
is that one?
that was the one that we had to agree to because we could both put points in it.
We did.
hmm
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's in
yeah.
the
Um,
it's in
You
the
just have to put
preternatural sheet,
you
all
just
the way
have
at
to
the
put it.
bottom, right, Hector? If we just
Yeah,
scroll all the way to the bottom of the preternatural
it
sheet.
it should be. I don't know if there are the rules for demons and down below that now, but
yeah,
it's for
I think in that case, you could do it as a write-in, even though the sheet's going to put a little red corner tag on whatever you write in. But throw that in traits, and then put it in the special cost in the yellow box.
Okay, so we have four options that we could split the point cost on. It's either 10, 18, 24, or 28 points, and that helps us with the investigation checks when we're looking for clues and stuff. And the percentages go 10%, 19%, 27%, 34%. So if you're willing, oh man, I don't know. We could do 9 points each to get the level 2 journal, the professional's journal. What do you
What's the
think?
top one?
The top one is 10 points for 10%. The best one is 28 points for a 34% chance. Meaning we would split the cost at 14 points each if we wanted like the best of the best journal.
All right. Well, let me consider that one after I finish taking my negative traits.
Okay, so we'll do that one last.
yeah. Allergies is a good one to take. A lot of people have allergies.
That's why I went
I see
right in
that.
the middle with it too. I actually don't have any allergies, but I thought it would be fun to go with the medium, the level 3 of the level 3.
Yeah, and 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 always fun and Sometimes campaign ending, the enemy trait. Um,
That's why I only went with 10 instead of 20. Or
Whoa,
no, I
whoa,
went
whoa,
with
whoa,
5.
whoa. We could take enemies?
Yeah, of course.
I
How many demon enemies do you think we're gonna
I thought
have?
we weren't allowed to take enemies because we're like kind of like rookies.
yeah, I won't allow high point enemies, but five is fine.
So I
All
could have five-point enemies?
Oh God, no,
right. But you could
no,
probably have one.
Yeah, I'll
no,
take like one. Yeah.
that will ruin you. No, I don't want to. I don't want to have another camp. So again, guys, this is why you make your characters with your players. Um, in other campaigns, it's totally appropriate to take 100 or 200 points worth of enemies. um, but you got to realize that that's going to take a huge focus at your campaign. The more enemies you allow, the worse it'll be. Um, and it can potentially, uh, highly potentially, be campaign ending. So it's just depending on what you're going for, the play style. Last campaign we had was a cyberpunk campaign, and
That was
uh,
really fun.
yeah, and enemies were appropriate. So everybody had between 80 to 120 points worth of enemies, and
And I vanquished my crazy robot lady enemy by
no, you,
making her
no,
my
you-
friend.
no, no, you mean you became her slave?
Yeah. Basically.
So
Can't beat him. Join him.
so yeah.
It was in my character's direction, everything, his character, to go ahead and do that because it ultimately saved more lives overall to follow her plan, especially after we were thwarted twice in trying to destroy her.
It was so good.
It was bad. I hate
But
loved
I
it.
mean, ultimately, yeah. One character enslaved by his enemies, one character dead by his enemies, and one character
Died from an
put put
illegal addiction.
put yeah, yeah, put out of work by too many enemies, and one character betraying the entire group because of one of their enemies. It's like that's exactly where that campaign was supposed to go. It didn't go the way I wanted, exactly, but it did end in the spirit of how it was supposed to end. Um, so yeah, there are some game breaking things that you're allowed to do, and but this game trust you to be able to handle it as a GM, and encourages you to give your characters enough respect to to trust them in making their characters and not make something game breaking. But I do, and it's written in the game that you should vet the characters that your players turn into, even if you tell them, hey, go ahead and make me a 200-point character, and I'll see you on Monday. It's still up to you to vet them, and you should be doing that in any game, really. Um, you know, you're trying to even if you're just playing D&D, you're trying to run a D&D campaign, and uh, you know your character shows up with some sort of artificer paladin warlock that it got out of some uh, whatever realms campaign book that you told them it wasn't going to happen. Well, what it really is up to you to be like, hey man, I told you what game we were playing. Uh, the like this character doesn't make any sense, and then they start arguing with you or something. It's like, nah, you should don't put up with that, guys. Uh, the idea is that we're here to have fun, and once you tell somebody what you're playing, then they should make a character appropriate for that campaign. Um, not if Yuli started Yuli Copter over here decided, oh yeah, I'm just going to take pyrokinesis. It's like, no, dude, we're playing supernatural. The point is, you're humans against monsters. You can't make a monster. I don't want you to play a monster. But I really, but this and then I could really do it really well. And it, like, no, dude, you just want to be powerful and wreck everything for everyone. Let's be honest.
Sometimes, not all the
Sure,
time.
sure, that's fun, but I mean, the challenge is the most fun part. I think. At least that's what I'm going to go with right now.
Well, you
Oh,
know what?
nice. Looks like Yuke's given himself an irrational fear. That's nice.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun. I don't know what it's going to be of yet. Like, I don't know. It's got to be something.
Old wound. That's nice. Someone's taken that in a while. Prone to motion sickness. That's good.
Yeah, I figured I'd try it out. That's why I only went with the mild one because, I mean, personally, if I'm on a plane and it's been taking enough turns or jerking around quite a bit enough, I could feel the
Yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
fun. That's fun.
yeah, I start to get it. And the other time I've ever gotten it was I was standing on a rock in a lake fishing, and the wind was making the waves on the lake look like the water was moving, but I didn't feel any motion, and I was just like, oh,
Hmm. So at
I
some point you
categorize
might
that as
you
mild.
at some point you might want to give a vanity a read because it works different now.
Oh,
But
I figured since my character's got a attractiveness of 10, why not throw vanity on there?
sure, why not? It actually gives you a bonus now,
Hmm.
but if if you suffer any defeat or humiliation, then you take a very detrimental negative instead.
Hmm.
So
Type of
it's
vanity.
yeah, so it works different, and I think it's a lot more true to life now.
Well, then that doesn't.
But
Just
check it out. Just take it. Somebody needs to test it anyway.
all right. You know what? I'll leave it in there because why not? And then I'll check it out, make sure
But as you
that
guys
I
can
can.
see, character like by what Luke's doing over here, characters are rewarded for just being good guys. If you have this social stigma and this respect of law stuff, you're a good guy, you get points, and the reason for that is because of that social contract that GMs have with their characters, with their players, wherein you agree to restrict yourself a certain way, well, you deserve an in-game reward, in my opinion. That's why that happens, as well as these allergen stuff that he's taking, all these negative traits. He's also getting points back for that, and those are other kinds of restrictions, character flaws that he's responsible for playing. Um, Sleepwalker. Um, and
Mild.
his character is more fun. He deserves more points for that.
It's going to be more fun for the GM
It is. It is.
because you're going to
That's,
be able to be like, all right, so you guys go to sleep for the night. Guess what, Luke? You're sleepwalking,
you know,
but it's mild.
Focus.
hmm Yeah. So he didn't take the dangerous version where he.
Took the fun. I took the fun version where it's like something stupid happens and it just makes everything a little more comical.
Yeah.
All
Not
right,
the.
well, I'm done with traits then.
Okay.
And I've got all the weapon proficiencies that I wanted. And as you can see on my points, I've spent half my skill points at this point.
As you guys see, because you've probably played other games that don't have as many skills as this one and don't have as many talents and traits, and all that stuff starts adding up. So
Yep.
here, as you can see, on uh, helicopter sheet that he is, the points are automatically adjusting for him. So you can just kind of go around, mess around with it, and see how that works. and right now he's spending points in skills. And obviously, the more points you spend in there, the better. Uh, but
That's why I like to
oh,
first get my minimums out of the way
yeah,
for what's it called for uh, the talents,
yeah, but
and then once minimums are out of the way, then I can build on those. I know where it is that I can't remove from, but I can go ahead and put more into. Like for my attack, I'm going to raise that sucker from a 3 because 3 was the minimum that I needed, and I'm going to move that up to a 6.
right. So the idea with a points by game is that you can play whatever you like to any degree, like as opposed to waiting to gain a level, so you can finally have +4 climb instead of +2. You're gonna wait 3 levels until you can raise your climb ability. It's like, but all I do is climb, so so why can't I just have a better climb? It's like, no, you're gonna have to wait until you have a level to take a feat, or wait until it goes up naturally for whatever reason according to your thing. Those games are fine, but they're dirty casual games in my opinion, because because really
Oh,
it's
I
like
get
I
that.
don't it's like I don't care enough about my character to customize it. It's just going to go up the way that it goes up. I only make one choice. Well, I mean, in a game where the idea is that choice is the most powerful thing that you have, your in-game decisions, then that should be reflected in your character sheet, and that's just part of uh, the philosophy of how the game got created. It's like we're missing Luke for the moment. You're just spending skill points
Yes, sir.
on skills. It looks like you're almost tapped out.
Yep.
So, did you save some points in case you wanted to buy a hunter's journal or something?
Oh yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Hmm. You see here, based on how many points your characters are worth, they get attribute points, and attribute points are spent here, and then those attribute points are shown here and added into your score automatically. And the game uses synergies as well, which gives you boost to similar skills. So it is a nice, relatively intricate uh, +1 game. You want to get all those +1s, as many +1s as you can.
And in
So
that, when you're trying to get your plus ones here and there, it's best to spend skill points in groups of 3 if you can. If you get 3 ranks in something, it's like balance is an epic one. It gives synergy to so much. It's good to put 6 ranks in balance because that'll give you 2 bonus synergy points to so many skills.
right. Uh, so like I said, we're not afraid of power playing here or min maxing, um, but we do restrict those things depending on the campaign. Uh,
All right, Luca. I have 14 unspent points that I'm gonna hang on to.
Did you do your age and your age points?
Not yet.
Yeah, throw your age in there, man. It might refund you a bunch of points. Of course, set it to maximum spendage at first to see what happens, and then draw it back until it stops refunding you points.
you put in 27.
Yeah, yeah. But I haven't spent any of that yet. So, what was it? Your Your learning needs to be as high as your job, or your learning reflects.
Yeah, you have to have, if you want to spend 5 points in job, you have to have spent 5 points in learned.
Okay, so they just have to mirror each other. Like learned,
Yeah.
mechanics, 3 ranks. That means I could have 3 ranks in job mechanic, like that.
Hmm.
Well, yeah.
And those
Yeah,
are
you
all
could.
age points, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but remember, you can also take learned Texas Rangers stats,
Yep.
and then you can take. Uh, so if you put 5 ranks in that, you can also take 5 ranks in job mechanic. Just to let you know, just throwing it out there. Um,
It does work that way.
so yeah, so one of the things this game does is it gives you age points, and the age points are limited in what you can spend in. And the only reason that they're limited is to round out characters, because real life characters have useless knowledge. Real life
Yeah.
characters have jobs and stuff
I
that they
have
did even in their past.
I have a
You know,
plethora of useless knowledge.
so even if characters use like even if characters use the age points to further power play their character, it it still rounds them out a little better. Like, oh, you built a soldier, but what were you before you became a soldier, right? You weren't allowed to go into the army until you were 18. So what were you doing before that? Uh, you should probably have something else. And like Yuli, he wants job mechanic. Well, maybe his dad was a mechanic, and maybe they hung out and uh, worked on cars all day on in the summer or on the weekends or whatever it is. So that helps out round your character out, force you to take something that's not strictly combat oriented, and helps tell the story of who your character is. Um, like I said, even if you use it to power play, like I'm sure Yuli wants job mechanics so you can fix his ride in case anything happens to it.
Mhm.
But that's still a better rounded character than you're going to get, in other games who don't force you to do that. Um, so I like to encourage characters to take the most useless things, which I can only imagine the most useless thing in my mind is sports statistics. So I always throw that one out there. Don't be afraid to throw out um, knowledge in any of your imaginary favorite sports teams, so that your character has something to talk about. While it's like it's something he keeps up with. It's like, oh man, the season just started. This year we got so and so on our team. Something random to talk about. It's really not going to affect your character that much. Points are free. You you might get a +1 out of it, but you also might get something really worthwhile to give your character some personality.
And learned
And
specifically, um, if
My learning and my job are taken from my skill points. What do we have to do to circumvent that last
okay,
time?
go to your used age points and type in an appropriate number. This is the reason it's this way. Say you decided you wanted to spend 6 points in a learned and 6 points in a job.
Mhm.
So that's a total that you'd have 3 ranks in each, and that would be a total of 12. So you'd say that you spent 12 age points, and that way, if your character ages,
Ah, I see.
your points go up automatically, your total, and you would be able to reserve those age points for spending them later. Otherwise, it would automatically refund you points unexpectedly.
Yeah,
So it's good to know when these are going to happen.
it worked. I put in 12 in my used, and it took back the skill points.
There you go.
so in this game, the balance, because you could just make a very old character and end up with a really nice, hefty, big old bag of points to spend on random stuff to give you synergies and get all those +1s. Um, The balance is that your character heals slower, and there are attribute adjustments, uh, and you lose power, and your character heals significantly slower. So so there is
Yeah,
a
that's
trade
why.
off there.
Yeah, that's why you don't want a character that's like 50, 60, 70 years old. But if you have a
Well,
character that's in their 20s, it's usually
it
not.
depends. You know, as long as you're thoughtful and you have a good solid idea of what you're doing going in, then you can get away with just about anything.
Absolutely. Hmm.
So, job for the occult would be occultist,
Occultist.
or would
I don't.
learned the occult be enough for campaign
Uh,
purposes?
just yeah, just take. I mean, you don't really. Gosh, I don't even know if you need any, but you can if you want. Take either one.
All right, then I will take learned occult.
Sounds like your character is a bit of a nerd.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and Yuli, for I think I already told you, Hector, you might want to show it on the sheet. Down at the bottom left-hand side of the sheet, there is a section for your jobs, your learneds,
Right,
and your makes, to where
right.
you could take up to 10 of each and label them. For example, I have learned one. So in my learned skills, I'm going to go ahead and fill out number one with whatever it is I've decided I'm learned in.
Right. So it's like that because you as a character get to make up any skill you want when you take learn it or job. I mean, if you want to take job janitor or uh, job mechanic or uh, I'm struggling not to say something inappropriate here. Um, you could, you could be the guy who's in charge of picking up George Bush's excrement out of the toilet and have that as a job, and whatever the specialty that is, you can have that. You can make up that job in the game. You can also, like, again, because the campaign's campaign agnostic, making traps in the 31st century as opposed to the 5th century are going to be very, very different jobs. You're going to be using very different materials. Um, and who knows what each job actually is made up in that campaign. Um, because there's too much variation like that, it's up to the player to make it up, which is a good thing though, because you get to have exactly what you want on these skills. And like I said, learning it could be anything from Texas Rangers baseball stats to cars, like Yuli's staking or something. You can make those skills up to give you those plus ones, but that's why you have to manually enter them. If
And
if and when I release specific campaigns, those campaigns will have specific jobs and make skills tailored to that campaign. Where in the scope of the campaign is limited enough to where you can actually guess at what those jobs are or could be. Sorry, Luke, you were saying?
and, some of them, some of the learneds, for example, learned chemistry, it gives synergies to specific other skills, and learned mathematics is a requirement for living calculator. So those ones you wouldn't have to do a write-in; they're already there as learned chemistry, learned mathematics, very specific things.
Right, right. The ones we couldn't get away with leaving out, excluding from the book, are in there. Um, and a couple of them just for fun as examples and stuff. So, Yuli Copter, are you done with your?
I am about to spend the rest of my age points. Would you like to know what I took them in?
Sure. Oh,
Uh,
I can see here you wrote them down. Mechanic, occult, electricity.
for to be an electrician.
Cool. Mechanic, electrician, and forager. Cool, cool. It sounds like you're a nerd and a criminal.
Yeah. Hey man, you can't save the world unless you're willing to bend slash break the rules.
um, so I can't wait to see what Luke here spends his points on.
I'm working on backing off my total age point spent to where it reflects my total.
Right.
All I have to do to that is slowly subtract because I'm not in the headspace to be doing math right now. So I'm slowly subtracting used total age points and watching my total used skill points to see when it actually starts to affect it. And there it is, 82. Bam. And check it out, dude. So far, I've used 198 of my 240 points,
Hmm.
and I've got a pretty beefy character. I could
Yeah.
still take a
So
lot. I
two,
could still take a lot more skills.
240 points is heroic in this system. Um, Normally, I wouldn't allow that many for starting characters, but um, because it's because of the source material. I mean, Sam and Dean have a plethora of skills. That, like
You
they
mean
can do everything now: lock
Sean
picking,
and Sean
forgery, acting, uh, mechanic skills, gunsmithing skills. Um, uh, I mean, it goes on and on and on. They're extremely talented. So, in order to have characters that are comparable and had the same kind of feel, hopefully not identical, which I don't think we're going to get based on what I'm looking at here, but to have characters that were uh, that well rounded, ended up having to go higher on the point cost. Normally, like 110, 150. It'd be more around where I want to start some characters, but also Ulicopter and Luke here have a lot of experience, and sometimes they just need points to play around with, and they're not likely to get too overwhelmed by the amount of skills that they have. So it's okay for them to go ahead and um, make a beefier character to start out with.
Right. Let's see. I think that jams me up there. I took one more of it.
Three,
Right.
57,
Job, just like Yuli. I'm going mechanic.
69, so 11 points.
You're both going to be mechanics, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I
Which would
figured.
make sense because
Exactly.
he would have been taught by father before me, so I would have just been a toddler, kind of playing around the car while they're working on it.
Well, I'm thinking of literally starting you in on a trailer in the middle of somewhere in the plains in Texas. So
Where we had to
you,
be mechanics because we're poor.
you're pretty much out to it.
And Hector, you'll like this. My learned guns.
Both of you.
Oh, he also did learned guns.
Huh? Hmm.
Yeah, just because I thought like, shit, who would fix the guns for us if it's just us?
Mm-hmm.
So it made sense.
I was thinking the exact
For,
same thing.
for those of you who aren't from Texas, that's pretty normal. You kind of just learn how to work on guns, and if you're not in a metropolitan area, you're definitely going to learn to work on cars.
Or if you're poor, you
Yeah,
got to fix your own car a
yeah.
lot.
Hmm. Yeah, if you're poor in the city, you probably know how to work on your own car.
Or if you just like cars.
That too, that too. But I mean, most, I mean, most people even are have who like cars are not necessarily rich either. So
I don't know. There's some pretty rich people who like cars, like Jay Leno.
yeah, but they don't usually work on their own cars.
I'll bet you he tools around on some of them.
Mm,
He probably
he tools
screws them
around
up.
all right.
Yeah, he probably screws them up, and then his mechanics fix them.
Yeah, he's definitely tooling around.
Yeah, but who knows? He might have actually been working on cars his whole life just because he has a passion for them.
Maybe who knows, right? I know he has the first electric car made from like the
Wasn't that like
19.
the Nissan Leaf or the Chevy Volt?
No, man, it's I'm pretty sure it's an American car from like the 1940s or 50s.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the electric car came out around the same time as the combustion engine car. The same problems existed.
Yeah.
Was the range was pathetic compared
Sure,
to
it's like a golf cart version of a Model T. It's
yeah. But the other thing was the steam engine and the internal combustion engine both had massive vibrations and were very loud, and people did not like that. They
right.
were
Right.
way more vibrating and loud than they are today. And so the electric car had some popularity, but of course, its range was its killer.
Yeah.
Useless knowledge.
Little history for you guys.
Yeah,
Just
I
throwing it.
have lots of useless knowledge.
You and I both, sir. This is the so about half my useless knowledge I got just from because I enjoy collecting knowledge, learning. Everybody should be learning all the time. That's a wonderful thing. But the other thing is, this system has forced me to learn so many things. I, I mean, I know stuff about stuff you don't even want to know about, man. I'm serious here. This, um, I, I could probably write an essay for you on a myriad of things, just because of the amount of research that I've put into this game, making sure that equipment and physiology and reality and physics and all come together in a single manifestation of a role playing game here. Um, wish me luck, guys. I want this role playing thing to work out for me. I want this book to be a success.
As do I, man. That's why I pounded this character sheet out as hard as I could, man.
Hmm.
No luck needed, bro. It's just gonna work,
Like
man.
the like the notes
Everything
say.
just takes time. That's all it is.
Let's see. What did I remember? I don't remember what I. If for nothing less, for the love of the system, role playing, and the ease of character creation.
There we go. There we go.
Let's see. I still have.
Okay, I finish.
All
I
right.
still,
Did you
I
save
still,
some points as well?
Yes.
I've still got 36 points to spend.
Okay, looks like you got there.
So
You
how
don't.
heavy did you want to go on the journal, Luca?
You there's nowhere
What
you
was
can
it?
spend that last attribute point, huh?
Mm-mm.
Um.
I
Ooh,
still have to
So I'll
do
just
my
save it to
attribute.
turn something into a 2 later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
I just have to do my attribute points after I finish taking my last skills. But this book, you say,
Mm-hmm.
You are very well rounded in stats, there, sir.
Yuli?
As are you, both of you.
Mm,
Oh,
one.
I'm not there yet. For my stats, I still have
Oh, you still have 15 points to spend.
15 points to spend. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is check this out. If I go through and look at my key ability and the score for the key ability, I can see that my accuracy is a 0. That affects my attack, and it also affects my kill. So I'm going to up that for sure. Then there's also other places like logic and accuracy that I have zeros. So, or yeah, accuracy is already mentioned. Logic would affect my conceal. Uh, Power is at a 1. I should up that because it affects my pushing, my disarm, my tripping. Power is damage. So you can see where this is going.
Yeah, I already
Uh,
found a skill that I forgot to take,
there
so I'm
you
moving
go.
points around now.
There you go. So as you can see, Luke and Yuli take the opposite approach of what I normally do. When I make a character, I'm just like, oh, I want to make a fast character or a strong character or a smart character, and then I go and I'll do my attributes first and um, then adjust. It doesn't look like they have to do too much adjusting.
Mm-mm.
They're just finicking a little bit here and there.
Yep.
They got their traits all taken care of, so it looks like a pretty good method they chose. They don't have to mess around with too much. Like I said,
Controller.
I like to do attributes first, but that's just me. Luke. No, it looks like you're close to spending all your points.
Yep, yep,
Nice.
yep, yep, yep. And I've got one attribute point that I'm like, eh. So let's see, where should I throw that thing? Probably persuasion or
Probably
logic.
persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion. I've got a couple of those that would benefit, and logic would benefit too, but not as much as the persuasion. So it's going in persuasion. And there we are for the rest of them, just to fill it out, because I don't like blank
And, and
spaces.
I don't know if you're going to save some points to
Well, that's the
purchase
thing.
that item with Yuli.
I I still have in that category what is this 26 points to spend.
And
So
I
did
just
you want
remembered
to?
two skills that I forgot to take, so I'm gonna mess with my points a little more.
All right. And I'm going to look through my skills to make sure that
So
there isn't anything
the
that I'm
skill
missing.
list in this game is far
It's,
bigger than in other games.
it's fairly extensive, but
It's fairly
it's
extensive.
necessarily so.
Mhm. I mean, one of the points is to get all those plus ones, but the other point is it it does let you round out your character extremely well. Um, there in this game never suffers that question of like, oh, I want to do a this action. I want to do a backflip off of a moving car. What do I roll?
Well,
Um,
there's also that you
or,
don't necessarily need to put ranks in most of the skills. You
right, you
can
could
just
just
get
use them.
a roll out of it. And if you do need to have ranks in it, like earlier when I took, I believe, opportunistic strikes, which is now going to be renamed battle acumen, it turned the thing red because I have to have at least one rank. Otherwise, you cannot use that.
Right. So those questions never come up. Like I'd have to hack a computer. What do I take? Well, that skill's not in here. You should have made it up.
That would be learned. That would be learned. That would be some learned code and maybe some job cybersecurity, and then you could hack a computer.
Yeah. So those questions are rare. Um, they're usually when they do come up, they're campaign specific. But in a general sense, in a way that affects all campaigns, those questions don't come up, and that's why there's so many skills. Um, plus, it lends to to again the philosophy of the game. It's the definition of a skill is what rules whether or not a skill exists. It's something that a person can do and get better at. So if it fits that definition, it's in the game if it applies universally, and if not, that's a definition you need to meet to create it yourself. Um,
Okay.
uh, what's
Do you
up,
have?
Yuli?
Oh no, I was gonna collaborate with Luca on the Hunter's Journal.
Yeah, let me go ahead and write that in on my traits.
But how many points do you want to spend?
I'm willing to do the maximum.
Okay, so that'll be 14 points from each of us to give us the Legends Journal. Write it
Okay, I'll
down.
write it in as Hunter's Legend Journal or Legend. Just,
I actually don't know how to spell that, so it might be.
Huh?
Um,
What's
I
going
don't
on?
know. Legends, as in being possessed by a legend, or
Or being a legend?
no, like a legend's drinking cup or a legend's jockstrap. Uh, END apostrophe S. That's what I put, and the the document marked it as misspelt, but I don't understand why.
oh, who knows?
I'm not an English teacher, so even though I've kind of had to become one.
Yeah, when you're writing, you gotta. I mean, I write too, man, and you gotta really know your stuff.
You know,
Just gonna put it here at the
All right, that
bottom.
puts me at a remaining 16 points.
Ah, didn't work. Undo.
what'd you do?
Special cost be 14.
Where's the special cost thing?
On the right hand side of traits.
Oh, I see.
My character's pretty beefy as far as hit points go. I mean, I'd like to be beefier, but
I
I
don't know if I'm
don't think I
spelling this
can
right,
move
but
around
whatever.
any beef.
Well, we'll get there. This
I
game
don't think I can
awards
move around
skill points as you progress.
any more beef. Yeah, I'll get beefier, much beefier. Beef.
So, just as a note, just throw it out there. We will be using the 1 to 3 scale. Other games use this as well. You get a point for showing up. You get a point for making it to the end, and you get a point for being excellent. If you did anything fantastic that campaign, then you end up with 3 points instead of two. So it comes up with very slow character progression. As you can see, it takes, like for example, here, Helicopter has 1 rank in opportunistic strikes. It would take him 2 points to raise it to two. Other games use that as well. It's not unfamiliar.
Oh,
Uh,
after while we're on the character sheet, do me a favor. Go to the upper left hand of my sheet.
mhm.
Do you see the square I have highlighted?
Yes.
Go ahead and click that square and change the text color to white.
You're making it hard for me.
Come on, you can do it. I believe in you.
Hey, look, quick question.
No, I don't
Hmm.
know how.
I have shoot from the hip too, right? But it says I need quick draw, but I took quick draw 5 to cover all my weapons. Do I just ignore it?
Yeah, yeah. Just ignore it. That's a code error that I have to go through.
Okay. Same. So yeah, same thing with the surprise you're dead. I need quick draw, but I took quick draw with all my weapons. So
That is the name of the game, but we don't want a logo reveal yet because
That's
uh,
why I decided to go ahead and throw
Luke
just the white text in there.
Luke knocked it out of the park so hard with the logo
Thank
that I
you.
don't want anyone even looking at it until we have a copyright. Um, well, we've done a trademark. Because obviously heavy metal is pretty generic, but uh, it's just so brilliant. I can't wait to reveal it. But do I do the same thing on a Yuli sheet there? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah, that thing took me a while to put together, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we went with the back and forth with it of the approval steps saying, hey, what about this? Do you like this one or this one? But if I'm going to design a logo, I design a logo.
Yeah, really, really amazing work. Uh, can't wait to reveal that.
Thank you once again. Let's see. I still have 16 points unused, and any unused points, man, any unused points that are just sitting there. I mean, unless you're sitting there saying, you know what, I want to save to get a 7 in attack, and you got 6 unused points, and your balance is at 5, you might as well throw those 6 points into balance to go ahead and give you an extra rank from synergy to your
Yeah,
attack.
one of the things I hopefully this sheet helps, but one of the problems that I've had in the past is that characters will die with unspent points.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
that's a
guys,
tragedy.
yeah, the guys spend your points, man. Like we set aside special time before every campaign to spend points, and
Before
so
every session in the
yeah,
campaign, it's like,
yeah,
all right, you guys, last time you guys got 6 points or 8 points each for the time of role playing. And, go ahead and spend your points if you didn't spend them after the game last time.
I've had at least one character that died from unspent points only because I was trying to get like I think I had 8 ranks in something and I wanted to get it to 9 or something like that. And then I died from another skill by 1. Like I missed the dodge
Uh,
by 1 or something, and like that's what like ended me, and I could have used those points to up my dodge, but I was saving them for something else. And,
yeah. No, but
yeah.
no, that's I don't blame a character for dying with 7 unspent points because there's things that cost 7 points or more. But when you have more than 10 points lying around,
oh,
nothing in the
yeah,
game costs
you
more than ten
definitely
points.
should have. Yeah, at that point, with 10 points unspent, that's where there's the ambiguity of it. Like if you got 6 points that you could spend and you can up your balance to a 6, that'll give you synergies to so many other skills. And if you were already at a 6 in that point and you were saving 7 to up something else, like maybe your damage, then yeah, save those 7 points to get that damage. But at the point that you have 10 unspent points, you are doing it wrong.
Um,
That's
but,
actually something that I can do. That's something I can add in. That if your total unspent points are have a disparity from the total points of 10, it will turn it green or something to say, hey, spend your points.
So yeah, I definitely went with a rogue character, as you could see from how I spent my skill points. I put like a at least a 6, like on all sneaky stuff, like balance. I want to be able to move quiet. I took a lot of sleight of hand, so people can't see what's in my hand, even though I'm standing in front of them, so I can just knock them out whenever I feel like it. I took some murder for knockout reasons.
for not
As you can see, I have a really high attack because I don't want to miss after spending all the effort of sneaking up to someone or something to attack them stealthily. I have good hide. I took a lot of conceal, and yeah, I built my character to be stealthy. Basically, I'm a stealthy nerd who's addicted to junk food for no reason.
for no reason.
That's a good legal
Oh
addition.
wow, nice,
All right. I'm
nice,
going to say that I'm done here, man.
groovy, groovy. And you guys decided to purchase the legendary journal and nothing else from the campaign specific rules, right?
Well, what else was there?
I think there was a token.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the family token. Later.
What does the family token do?
oh, that's character creation, man.
What does
It's
Yeah.
the
all
family
right.
token do?
It's not that important. You or do you have that open, helicopter?
I don't. I don't. What does the family token do?
I can open it up real quick here. And beep 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 beep. Nope, not the right thing. Okay, real quick is the wrong. Uh, hmm, hmm.
Quick enough.
I don't even remember what it does, honestly. Which is better?
Okay, family token 5 points. A family token is any object which cannot be lost until used. It has the deepest sentimental value to the character. If the character dies, the token can be activated and the monster who is the object of the current hunt is slain. It's pretty cool. To you, The use of a token also means the campaign may be over or a great change to the campaign occurs.
It's pretty much a luck point.
No, because you're still
No,
dead.
you're still dead. Yeah,
So
you're still dead.
it's kind of like a boss auto kill, but you lose anyways.
It's a death luck. It's a death luck point.
It's
It's
you're
like
com-
last. It's like last laugh.
It's like you're coming with me, but yeah, but last
Yeah,
laugh is no guarantee.
it's a literal death blow.
Yeah, I mean, if my character's gonna die anyways, I'm like, I'm a
It's
little too
it's like uh
selfish.
it's like what it
There.
did to that evil asteroid in the Star Wars campaign. Remember? I had like crates and crates of detonators, and I was like, I light them all, and I laugh maniacally. Ah! That was super fun.
Oh, that campaign was good.
Yeah.
The force holes. The force holes.
It's too many. There was a lot of force souls, but what are you gonna do with Star Wars?
That's
What's
why
up?
they had to have force holes.
Sorry, guys, we're in joking right now. We decided that all of Lucas's plot holes were force holes, perfectly explained by the Force,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
not a mistake. So instead of plot holes, they're force holes. So Luke geniusly decided to uh, purposefully insert them into the game.
Fun, man. It was fun.
It was fun. It was so yeah. Next pro tip for you guys: next time you run a Star Wars campaign, don't be afraid of putting some force holes in there. The force holes, I think, yeah, they definitely make things more fun.
Yeah, it was just too much laughter at all of the stupidity of the force holes because I would push it here and there. It's like you guys would be like, hey, wait, what happened when we went over there and that happened? Force hole.
So we done with the character sheets. You guys happy with your sheets?
Yeah, I think I mean I really want to say that this is good.
Why don't you give us like an overview of how you think you're going to play this character, so that we can look back on this and see what actually happened afterwards.
I mean, like I said, this time I'm not taking amiable because instead of being a nice guy who's a smartass, I'm going to be an abrasive jerk. Um, let's see.
Ooh, what are your stereotypes gonna be?
Oh, that's right. You
Hmm,
guys have to choose three stereotypes for me. So um, hmm, I'll
abrasive jerk.
go ahead and share this. Maybe should open this up for you guys. Let me see. Let
Aside from that, I have to pick my irrational fear.
me see. I'm gonna. You guys are done with the sheets, right?
Mhm.
Well, I'm just
Okay.
going to write in my irrational fear. That's
Yeah.
just a notes
Yeah.
thing.
Go ahead. I think I'm gonna open up the preternatural sheet. So as soon as I can remember how anything works. um. Damn it. How do I get? Okay, I see what I did. Can we just go to drive then? No.
What am I irrationally
Oh,
afraid of?
open. Mm, Well, that's interesting.
That's not right.
That is highly unlikely.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not
huh.
right. That's not right.
No, that's not right. Maybe
What
because
did
it's
you
trying to
do?
open spreadsheets. There's no spreadsheets in here.
Maybe, yeah.
Hey, Hector, for an irrational fear, let me just double check this real quick. Sorry. Let's see. Traits. Irrationals. Irrational. has mild, moderate, severe. For moderate irrational fear with a ranking of 5, would would mice be appropriate for that fear?
Irrational fear could be anything, no? Because it's irrational.
yeah, it can be anything, but
It could be paper
I
clips, bro. You could
I
be
kind of
you could be
miss.
you could run out of a room screaming when you see a paper clip.
Well, that's the thing. The
I,
reason the reason I'm well, see, Yuli, the reason I'm asking is because the more prolific and the more likely to encounter
Mm.
what it is that sparks your irrational fear is what ranks it. So out of the three, there's irrational fear mild, irrational fear moderate, and irrational fear severe. I've chosen moderate, and I'm going with the rank of 5 out of 10 for mice. Should it be lower or higher?
oh no, that sounds about right.
That's what I was thinking.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, if it was like if you had an irrational fear that was mild, but the thing is everywhere, like it's paper. You're afraid of paper. That would be a 10.
So just for fun, see if I can. I don't have it in here. Times. Where the hell is it?
Getting fancy over there.
Yeah, I downloaded a text, a supernatural text, and I was hoping it was in here, but I can't find it right now. Whatever, just wasting time. Um, so
Preternatural.
so this is just for anybody who happens sees how easy it is to adapt the the system, the heavy metal system, into any other campaign.
Campaign agnostic.
Yeah, this is that's it. Well, it actually ends there. How much after having written that, I'm ready to run the campaign. Uh, so that's all the campaign prep work I did, and because you can go check out on my YouTube channel the demon pre uh, like test campaign that we did. We use these suits, these sorry, I read suits, these rules for that. And right now, here's the hunter's journal that the helicopter and nuke were taking there, the family token. Um, there's special rules for luck points and a destiny point system, which we will be using. So anytime these guys get a rise out of anyone, what I'm hoping to do is that anytime that we get some really good viewer interaction, you guys will be able to award the players some destiny points as well. Um, don't exactly know how that's going to work yet, but um,
Like we're not going to be getting any destiny points.
right, but so these guys choose three stereotypes, and when they do something that falls inside of their stereotype, which evokes um, a strong emotion out of any of the viewers, they're given destiny points, which they can use on monsters um, to help them to keep them from dying. So for those of you who are fans of the source material, you may have watched the episode where the Winchesters lose all their luck and they become regular schmoes. Um, this is kind of how to explain that, where the player characters are heroes by definition of the source material, and because of that, they get to do these actions, and they have to use
No,
destiny points on them.
I see three fairly easy ones that I should just go ahead and take, especially since I'm going to be playing a jerk of a character.
Because the game already has luck. I didn't name it luck, so that's,
Ah, right.
uh,
So you already know your stereotypes?
Yeah, I'm looking at it because I'm going to be playing a jerk of a character. I'm going to go with the smart ass bully drinker.
smart ass bully drinker. All right.
Actually, I might not do drinker because I didn't take a legal addiction. If I did, I could probably boost some more points into my character.
Hmm. Well, drugs and alcohol abuse is not a theme of the show. Like a couple episodes, maybe wakes up with a hangover or something.
Yeah, well, you got drinker right there. So,
Yeah, it's not. They never really go into that. They don't. It's not a focus of the show, and I don't want it to be a focus of the game either.
yeah, no, well, I'll skip that then.
You can still take it. It's just like I said. It won't. I don't really care.
No, I mean, if anything, with that, I'd probably just,
Uh, remember back to earlier in the show, guys, where Yuli says, "I don't really care about the name," and you just get away with it. It's okay. It's okay to abuse something when your GM says they don't care.
you shall be.
It's
I chose my stereotypes to be a junk food addict, cheesy, so get ready for the zingers,
all right.
and a goody two shoes.
Really two
What
sheets.
was it?
I'm surprised that you guys picked the ones that are the examples that I gave. Well, I thought you'd come up with your own, but
Oh, we get to come up with our own.
yes, you. I mean, please read the thing. It's only one paragraph.
I did.
The stereotypes can be any that the player can imagine. Examples include. So these are just examples.
I only
Oh, I
took goody
skipped
two shoes for the
I,
challenge,
I completely skimmed right through that
You
because
did
I was like,
and the first two
yeah,
were pretty
because
good.
I went
just
three
liked 'em, so I took 'em.
stereotypes and then just right to the stereotypes.
yeah, you goody two shoes, but how much law did you take?
I have fear of law 1.
Yeah, and your goody two shoes.
Yeah, when I'm not
All
breaking the
right,
law.
all right. As long as you can play it, man. Um, I trust you to play it. Whatever
I
you.
might I might need to change it.
See, guys, this is why you make characters together. This is exactly how you make characters together. Um,
Ah,
and this is why you vet characters, right?
all right. All right. How about this? I'm gonna be a know-it-all, jerk, and sharp dressed.
My third stereotype's gonna be nerd.
Just remember, if you pick something like sharp dressed, it might be hard for you to get destiny points out of it because
Well,
it's going to be up to you to role play it to the point where that does a thing.
where it would do it is if anything got on my clothes, I'm going to be very unhappy about it.
Abandoned
Like if
convent
we,
to iron your shirt.
yeah, we splatter a demon, and I'm going to be like, oh,
All right. I mean, as long as you have an idea of how to play it, go for it. Sounds great. Um,
come on, Danny. Couldn't you have waited for him to step one more foot to the left before blowing his head apart? Look at
He
what
was
you did
coming
to my
at you,
new,
and I had no windage, so I took the shot.
look at what you did to my new shirt.
I'll clean it for you later.
No, this thing's ruined.
will you please stop ironing my shirts with beer?
That was a good
Would
line.
you please stop ironing my shirts? I'll take care of that. Wrinkles all over the place.
So let's see. So these are things that destiny points allow you guys to do. The guys have only used the opposite, the monster options, so far. Um, they I think, yeah, you made pretty good use of those. But I tricked you because now I know how to use them against you.
It was all a ruse.
Monologues, dude. Force a character to do nothing while you monologue. It's like, well, great. Now, that gets me. I'll be like stuck listening to this guy while his demon partner comes around and shoots me in the back of the head.
Yeah, you guys have used that pretty well. So these are what monsters can do with Destiny points. Monsters gain Destiny points different in this one. The more Destiny points you use on them, the more Destiny points they get used to back on you. Um, and they get half of the Destiny points you use on them. Luck points here. Luck points are a normal part of the game, but they have a special. Uh, they activate a special quest in the game. Power levels is just because that's something that seems to happen in Supernatural. If you just outpower something, it doesn't affect you.
His power level is over 9,000.
And here's the special equipment that they're allowed to buy for the campaign. Other than that, I didn't have to do anything else to make the campaign, and the other rules are just to make the game feel more like the show, take on the spirit of the show, right? And because they played demons, I had to spell out the actual demon rules for them. Here are just some of the devil's traps and the things that they get for possessing people. Um, Other than that, guys, I think maybe today's hangout is done. You guys want to do anything special?
I'm still down to hang out, man, after we're done streaming.
Just gonna hang out. I don't think there's anything else pertinent about the campaign here. I think we can go ahead and maybe do this. And just in case anybody saw this, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for watching episode 2.
Yeah, this was our special character creation, behind the scenes hangout session 0. Awesome dude guys hanging out doing dude guy stuff. Episode. Soon we're going to be bringing you an actual more live play. We're going to be doing approximately 2 hour sessions for your enjoyment. There'll be a lot more time. There'll be a lot more laughs, a lot more action in this one. I'm sure it was kind of boring.
I used the poop,
but I wanted a reference video to be able to send people back and kind of just show some GM advice stuff and some character sheet stuff and kind of let everybody know what we're doing. So we will be on Mondays 2:30. I think we can get 2:30 down pretty well.
Yeah.
2:30.
We
That's 2:30 Mountain Time. I think we're on daylight savings at this point, so
right
-7 Greenwich Mean Time.
And obviously we're bloody amateurs at this, guys. So bear with us if you see something that's not quite great. Don't be afraid to leave a comment.
Be afraid to leave comments. We don't like negative comments. That'll be fun too.
Some criticism. What's the good kind of criticism? Constructive criticism. You leave constructive criticism for us in the chat at any point. We greatly appreciate it.
We're gonna get trolls.
Yeah, of course.
All trolls are welcome.
Oh, I'm gonna troll us.
Luckily, we're well-adjusted human beings, so
for the most part.
That's why I'm gonna troll us.
So you can't beat Luke in a flame war. So I mean, have at it. Really? Try as you may.
Luke is the fire.
Yeah, he's a fire elemental. You can flame him all you want. It's not going to happen. You might hurt my feelings. I don't know.
Yeah, the trick is have no feelings.
Yeah, no, we're kidding, guys. just any comment would be appreciated. But constructive criticism, that would be truly appreciated. Um, what do you think? Should we sign out for now? Say
Yeah,
goodbye.
sure.
All right, and just even though this is at the end, we're doing it backwards. Just to remind you, I'm Hector Santana. My handle is Artist for Hire. It has an S because my last name is Santana. That's what I go by on YouTube, Artist for Hire S. You can check out these episodes there if you didn't catch them here. I am trying to put out a book, a nice role playing system for the whole world to enjoy, and uh, in my opinion, it's the very bestest one. Uh,
I kind of have an affinity and a preference for it myself.
yeah,
And I've always liked it.
we've definitely gotten off of other systems because they just weren't good enough for us, and
They're not
uh,
campaign agnostic.
yeah, we have standards around here, and and we and I've managed to put something up that meets all of our standards.
When you've been role playing for 30 years, you kind of well,
Yeah,
is
Luke has.
the
I've only got like
worst
22
worst
years. No,
game system ever.
23 years role playing experience and about 21 years game mastering for me.
Wow.
I usually get stuck in the forever game master role. If I want to get a campaign together, I got to put it together, right? That's the burden we bear.
That's
um,
weird to think
You know,
that I have
dude,
been role playing with you guys for about 20 years.
yeah,
How
yeah,
yeah.
insane is that?
yeah,
I was a
Mm.
16-year-old punk when I started hanging out with y'all.
That's what
yeah.
I keep saying.
And I was
And I was 23, and I was only 1 year younger than me.
I
So
told you to stop messing with that time travel. You're screwing everything up.
I don't know, but Yulicopter. We're gonna be. I think we're gonna be using his channel for these streams. Um, so please subscribe to him. Uh, give us that follow. Yulicopter on Twitch. There's nothing else to the name, right? There's not
No,
a at,
sir. Ulicopter one word on Twitch.
and it's oh shoot, is it ULI or ULY?
ULI
It's ULI.
right
Okay,
there on the cup.
yeah.
Th-
Luke,
Your
Luke was
filter.
there. Yulicopter. Was
Ulicopter on
there
Twitch.
was there anything else you wanted to add, Luke? Um, well, remember, guys, let's try to make this a thing so I can give Luke all the money he deserves. He's put in countless hours into that character sheet, and we want to be
I'm
able to
not
make it
concerned.
happen.
I'm not concerned with that. I mean,
Oh, so don't listen to him. We're very concerned about it.
Yes, yes,
it'll happen.
yes.
It'll happen.
Monies.
It'll happen when the book happens, man. It's a good system. It's
Yeah, so we want to. We there will be a. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called right now. There's like an RPG arcade thing or like site where you can get PDFs for free or cheap. We'll probably be on there. Um, we'll and we will do a fundraising campaign. One of these GoFundMe or whatever it is. My brain is so deep into the game right now that I can barely even think about those things. So excuse me. But we'll be updating you guys as more news comes along. Th- Thanks for joining us here on Twitch. Thanks for joining us wherever you might be joining us.
don't forget to
Uh,
join up on Hector's
yeah,
uh, YouTube there, Artist
art,
for Hire.
Artist for Hire S. I have a thing against numbers, so I put an S in there. It's kind of like a five. Uh, thank you guys very much for coming in. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. Well, clicking on stuff.